I made the first one in I think 2 weeks, isn't it? Is it 2 weeks?
Bit longer, I think, because I think we had an extra one, but we didn't. We then posted that on, but that was like 3 weeks before.
Good point. Yeah, that's a good point. But a lot of stuff's happened in between, mate. You've been to Turkey, haven't
Yeah, so we went to Turkey. We come back 2 days ago.
What did you go to Turkey for?
So I got my hair done.
Yeah. Do you know what, mate? It's still mad to me because I really feel like you had a proper head of hair.
I did, but it's just thinner, and it's not because people think that way because my hairline wasn't like receding. You know, people's hairlines recede. Mine weren't receded. Mine was just thinning.
Right, okay. Okay. So where did they implant it in specifically? All over.
So they, all from the side and the back.
Yeah, no, they take it out from there, don't they?
Yeah.
And then where did they put it in?
Well, you can see, can't you, like the little dots
But what I mean is, like, is it literally all over? Like, they put it in
all over,
everywhere?
all
Yeah,
over.
okay, okay. Just to thicken it up, right?
So just to thicken it up, yeah. So like
Yeah.
I wasn't because some people will go there and they'll have like a hairline added on,
Right, 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 right.
but
That's what I had done. I had it done 5 years, November 2017. So I had some in here, and then some on the top. And it kind of worked, kind of didn't.
yeah.
Like,
But the thing is, you got to remember, like you probably had a different because there's different I guess methods of doing it, right?
right.
So and they're a lot more advanced now, mate. It's
Yeah,
absolutely mental what they do. So the one they do now is different to what you would have had, where they take each single hair individually
yeah.
and then plant it on one by one.
Yeah, I had that.
Did you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I literally saw like they take them all out, and I saw them on the sheet. Like
Petri dish.
yeah, yeah. But there's no doubt about it. What I had and what you had, I should imagine, 5 years later, I should imagine this it's better now.
For sure.
Do you know what I mean? So
Get that 1 sec.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dogs have just had a fight. 1 sec.
Mate,
Oh, fucking hell.
doing your head in, mate.
Huh?
Are they doing your head in?
I mean, oh, fuck, just fucking touch my head and all.
Oh, yeah, don't watch, knock them out.
Um, so what was I saying? Yeah, so obviously with that then they did that and took what 10 hours?
Wow, shit. How
Yeah.
how many how many grafts were there? How many hairs?
5,000.
Shit. Okay, I had 3,600. I did. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow, mate. Yeah, as you say, like so. Then for people watching this after, they don't know what we know. Like so, they implant them in, but they're fragile. If you were to do like if you were to scuff your head now, it's like not good, right? But then also sleeping is a problem. You can't sleep like scuffing your head on the pillow, so you've got to sleep a bit more
No.
that way.
So you get like a neck pillow and you got to sleep like upright.
Isn't it? It's
Yeah.
hard to sleep that way, I think.
It is, especially for us, because it's like you, like I don't know about you, but I don't like to just like sleep straight on.
You sleep. How do you sleep?
I don't like on my side.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I sleep like in the fetal position, like with my knees up,
Yes.
my knees up. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
You know, like this. Like recently, what I found is that I have to do this now, and it's weird because I never had to do it before. In the last 6 months or so, I have to put like two pillows in between my legs. So when I'm on the side, if my legs like this, I have to put pillows in there to like help my hips out. Mate, try it. It's fucking so nice. But
Almost like there's like a long pillow and you tuck your leg in.
yeah, but I just use normal ones. And yeah. So I was waking up and my hips were hurting a little bit because of the
Right.
angle of my hips.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So I put it in and it feels great.
It's a bit like a sciatica type thing that causes you a little bit of a
Yeah, definitely. I've definitely got something in my lower back. Like yesterday, I was doing a video checking and just picking up the tripod. I just slightly bent to the side, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like, but this is why I think deadlifting over 5 plates ever again is probably not going to happen for me. I can do it, but it's like, why?
I think for us it's more just like the repetitive nature of like we've done this for so long that you're constantly going to have a backache now. Like for me, right, I was kind of thinking, sweet, I've stopped training for a month now. And then I'm like, all my backaches and all that's gonna go away. As it fuck? No, I'm still fucking. My back's still aching. Everything's still fucked.
So mad, mate. So after my surgery, my gyno thing, in my mind, I was like, oh, I come back fresh.
Yeah,
I was exactly the fucking same.
I know.
Honestly, like no better at all. I was just smaller and weaker.
It's not even. That's what I mean. Even worse. If not, it's not even worse.
Yeah, 100%. So like the other day, I rack pulled 280 for like 10 reps. So it's not. I know that I can do it. It's not like my back is preventing me from doing it, but it's like, no, fuck that. It's just no point.
Yeah.
I usually suffer for about a week later. Like, you know, just ugh.
And that just kills all of your other movements. Because let's say if you've done that and you're like, is it really worth you trying to like rack pull? Like you can just do that with rowing, you know, for your back, and then, but then that would impact your leg training.
Yeah,
probably impact your upper training as well to some extent.
Do you know what? And it's like it impacts it physically, but it impacts you psychologically. Right? When you go into the gym with a bad lower back, you go there and you're a little bit like just you're dulled down. It's like someone's bowled you down a little bit. You're not as up for it because you're a bit like it just makes you in a bit of a shitter mood, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. But so you haven't trained for 4 weeks now?
Yeah. 4 weeks I haven't trained, and now I'm not going to train for another further 4.
Well, obviously last time we spoke, you were struggling to get that motivation, right? Do you feel like did you feel anything returning at all? Or do you feel
It's
like
not even about motivation. I'm just kind of like, and the time I haven't been, like sometimes I kind of think like, yeah, I'd like to go back, but then most of the time I'm just kind of like, it's not something that's kind of missing, which is odd. Like for me, I'm kind of like, yeah, I've loads of other shit to do, but I don't know. Once I can train, I'll see how I feel, what direction I want to go into. Almost like in a mindset where I just want to look good. I don't even want to be any bigger in a way. Like if I can stay the size I am, because the thing is, you got to remember. Like, I was talking to someone about this, and it's like for me, right? I get to 250, 260 is kind of like my normal weight, like kind of comfortable weight.
Yeah.
For me to be at like 280, that's going to make you feel more uncomfortable. It's going to take 10 years probably to get there at that same like shape.
Yeah.
And it's like, for what? Like you're like, what do you really get out of that? Like for me, if I could stay, because I look fucking dog shit right now. I've dropped like 30 pounds. But in a way, like, how much bigger would you want to be?
Well, you say that, but that's only because you're coming from a different mindset now. Like, fucking, I'm a minute. You're coming from a different mindset now because, like, it's always been pretty pointless. I don't know, like, why does anyone want to walk around at 300 pounds or do, whatever the fuck? It's always been pointless, but you do it because you love it. But right now, your mindset isn't there, so it doesn't seem worth it.
No, as in my mindset is kind of like, if I could stay this shape that I was
yeah,
and maintain that,
that's
I would
enough.
be perfectly happy with not ever changing, getting any bigger, or like.
Knowing you, well, knowing all of us, but I know you well enough now to be able to make this statement. I feel like that wouldn't be enough for you. I feel like you staying still and doing like that, you'd be bored out your tits. I feel like you'd need some sort of progress. So, as much as it's a nice thought to be in shape all the time, without any ups and downs, it just feels a bit. It's bland,
I kind
isn't
of feel like I would be interested in potentially taking my cardiovascular training into a lot higher level. So, like, do something like
CrossFit.
No, not like that, but more like say I'll go on the Stairmaster and do like an Aaron Jones fucking workout, 45 minutes at like level 20 or something. That would be quite challenging.
Yeah, also shit, but yeah. No, do you know, and again, I'm speaking from a place where I just hate cardio training. I do it because cool, but I just I don't know, I don't find any enjoyment from that really. If that's where your head's at, mate,
I don't know. But for me, especially like I almost don't. I'm now like I've gotten into a kind of a point where I haven't even got the time or the energy to put into cooking 6 meals a day. I literally eat twice a day. Like normally, like I'll not eat till about noon, and then I'll just grab something like whatever that's got protein, and then at night I'll just eat what I want. And it's like,
again, no, man, this is all coming from a place because you can't be out, like your head's not there because it's always been inconvenient to do that stuff.
yeah.
That never changed. It's always been a bit of a pain in the ass, but you just did it because it was what you want to do. Right now, you don't want to. So it seems like, what's even the point? Like, why? You know what I mean? There's been a shift in your brain, isn't there? There's been a shift.
Well, there is no point to eat 6 times a day right now. So it's there's no need. So,
but maybe, do you know what? Never say never. But maybe this is the shift. Maybe this is just what the next step in your life. Maybe there's a new chapter on its way. I don't know. Like, maybe.
I mean, like, especially the last month sort of thing. Like, I'll literally just like, I'll just do so much more social media work right now, especially with what I do now, that that's just taken up all the time. So,
have you thought about? Sorry, finish. Go on. Sorry.
No, go on.
I was going to say, have you thought about being a tattoo artist?
Mate, this is funny actually. I've got
Surely that's the. Oh, is that a thingy, a needle, a gun, or whatever the fuck?
That's a tattoo gun, yeah. But I don't know whether I want to tattoo people, or whether I'm even like have the artistic skill to even do something like that. Potentially, I've got some fake skins and that just to kind of like try and practice it, but it's not really an interest of mine to actually tattoo people.
Were you ever like art? Were you good at drawing or anything like that? Were you ever? Oh.
I was shit at all that stuff. The only thing I was ever good at was sciencey stuff, like the nerdy subjects. So,
yeah, some people are just good at it. Like I remember back in school, there was this kid I used to know called Paul Arthur, and he was just like, we're talking like year 7, and he was like fucking. It was ridiculous. Anything he wanted to, even his writing was like calligraphy. It was like perfect. I used to like watching him write. In year 7, I was like, what the fuck? And my writing was like this.
Oh yeah. It's a skill, so you can learn. Drawing is something you can learn.
Yeah, but I truly believe, and you might disagree. You probably know more than me. If you don't have that natural thing, you're never going to be super good. You're always going to be. You can be quite good, but you can't be like elite.
Oh, I mean, it's
like
it's like natural talent for sure.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, not most, but a lot of tattoo artists can't even draw these days because you don't have to be able to draw. All you need is an iPad. The iPad does it for you.
It's tracing,
and you just trace it. Yeah. So you don't even need to like have the skill to be able to draw.
Let me know. Is there like I don't know, like if you're someone who's not a very good drawer but you can trace well in the tattoo world, people like look down upon that. Is that like, oh god,
Probably, what I mean? Yeah, because but then you never know. Because it's more about it. It's a bit like if someone is like say in the gym and they're training like doing something stupid, and then you see them and you're like, oh, this guy trains like a fucking idiot. Yeah. But if they look good in bodybuilding terms, you just think, yeah, but he looks good. So it's a bit like that. So let's say you can't draw, but you do amazing tattoos. End of the day, I might say, oh, yeah, he can't draw, but the tattoos is what matters in the end. So so.
Works good. It's like who cares, right? Who cares?
Right.
Yeah. That's a good point. You said you were good at the nerdy subject in school and that. Yeah. What were you like in school? Were you a nerd?
Oh, massive nerd.
Were you a dork?
Like proper. I was at a point where I just kind of did my own thing. Like I just didn't really, because I went to an all boys school, so I never actually like.
But
yeah. So you've got no distractions, the birds and stuff, until I went to college.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I just did my own thing, and I was like exempt from like PE. I didn't even do PE.
What? Why?
Because I did maths. Like I passed my GCSE maths at like year 10.
Oh, bro, do you know what? I would have bullied you so hard.
Yeah, I wasn't like that. I wasn't like one of those kids that like almost like stood out. Like I looked odd in these classes. Like, you know what I mean? And I tell you what, like in that school, because I went to Slough, so like Maidenhead, bro, like all of them are like these guys. They're like the brainiest fucking Indians you'll ever meet. Like mental. Those guys are just fucking next level.
I swear they're really good at mathematics as well, right?
Bro.
Yeah.
Maths, like science. So even to that, because it was not so much that I was that good. It was more the fact that when someone's really fucking good and you're trying to chase that person, a bit like. Let's say in your gym, you've got quite a few decent bodybuilders. So you kind of go, right, you know, rather than training at Pure Gym and being the biggest bodybuilder.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I get that. It's funny in me and Amy have had this conversation, and like, I guess you're a product of your environment, right? So if you were around a load of people who were like academic and they were like into those subjects, I guess just by design, you kind of just fall into that as well, right? Just byproduct.
I mean, see, my mum's obviously an academic too. So my mum's obviously someone that's that you kind of look up to, sort of that. If no one in your family has ever gone to uni or done anything like that, then you kind of think that's the norm, right? So you kind of try and you almost like naturally get swayed into subjects that aren't like very academic or are more practical.
Yeah, I get that.
Um,
I went to so I went to a boys' school as well, and it was well, the best way to describe it, it was just pretty chatty. It was pretty like it was quite rough. So, but only in hindsight, when I look back, do I realised that it was weird because it was like cool to be naughty. Like if you were trying in class, it was like frowned upon, like
you were
socially
getting like
frowned
taking
upon.
the piss out of.
Yeah, yeah. So I come from a good background. Like it's not like I come from some like rough background or anything like that. But I was in that environment, so I started to turn a bit like that, you know. So obviously I just made a joke about bullying you. I don't condone that. It's fucking it's stupid. It's fucking makes you a dickhead, right? But what I mean is in the environment I grew up in, it was like kind of fucking normal. It was I don't know. It was yeah. But
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I was my school was just kind of like very much like I was like the white kid in like the class of 30 kids that were like black kids and like Indians and things like that. So I was literally like a minority. So for me, it was more like I was like one of those kids that was like almost like it was not like common for you to see that many white kids, you know?
did you ever experience any racism?
They were it's mental because they were more racist towards each other.
Hmm.
And
What black on black and Asian on Asian? You mean like
yeah, they're just racist. They just abuse each other.
not that, but you
They're
didn't
like, oh, you
experience
know,
it.
your dad's a taxi driver or stuff like that. You know, stuff like that. Like they're not like, you know, things like that. Plus, them, if let's say you're, I don't know, let's say if you're a Somali or an Indian, and then they would hate on each other.
Right. They wouldn't hate you for being white.
Maybe because I'm like foreign technically as well. Maybe because like from that too. Because I no, I didn't feel like I got any of that, like anything like that.
An interesting flip on it because obviously you being white, you wouldn't expect to experience racism in England, right? You're the minority. I just thought maybe it might have been a thing, you know. But
yeah, it was odd. Like it was never like that. But like I said, in that school, it was more. It was like very weird dynamic, like because it's just all boys, and I think there wasn't like that many fights, or there weren't that many like that much drama going on. I think when it's a mixed school, you get a lot more drama because of the genders. So boys are trying to impress the girls, but when it's just guys, like who the fuck are you impressing? No one.
That's an interesting one. Yeah, you're right. There was definitely. I would say that there was distractions, but it was different. Like I can remember it so vividly, even though I wasn't in school. I left school in 2003. Check that out. Fuck me. 20 years ago I left school, but I remember it so well. And there was this hierarchy, mate. There was a hierarchy of like if you were good at like football,
Yeah,
if you were, and I fucking hate this expression, but if you were hard, you know,
yeah,
if you could fight, if you were good at football, if you were funny, or if you were fast at running, like if you were these things, you were higher up, right? And so it was weird because as much as you're not trying to impress girls, you were trying to like be the alpha.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
like there was a lot of guys trying to be the alpha, and there was a lot of fights in my school. And and weird because as I say, I spoke to Amy about this, and I was like, oh, blah blah blah, and she's like, that's not normal. But in my head, I thought it was normal because that's just what happens. But she's like, no, you went to a really chavvy school. It sounds
Yeah, you
terrible.
must have gone to a really rough school. Like my school was a grammar school as well.
Right.
So there wasn't like anything like that. So,
Okay.
you know, there was cricket, because
Right.
obviously
Yeah.
that's like their thing, right? But it wasn't like I said to you, most of us were like exempt from fucking PE. Like just
And that's the complete opposite of our school. So our school was known for PE.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
we were one of the best schools actually in the country, like
yeah.
for our football team and stuff. It was always known for it, Western Park Boys. Shout out to anyone who's watching who's Western Park Boys. There's going to be no one, but yeah, yeah. But it was in fact it's actually closed down now because like the
Really.
Ofsted reports were so shit. Like
All right.
it was just a terror. It wasn't good. But where I didn't know any different, whatever. Like
Well, you can't, you go in somewhere, and that's just that. But because I went to so many different schools, it was just like, but that's kind of the one that stuck like around mostly, and yeah, that was like, it was completely different. It was more
yeah.
like a lot of it was just academic.
What was Tell me how you felt going from a boys' school into college where there's girls. Tell me how that went.
Oh, that mate, I completely lost it after like
Yeah.
when I went to college. I literally kept like, because I went to Taunton College, in
Yeah, I know Taunton. Yeah, of course.
so I went, so that's where I went to. And mind you, going from a school of maybe 600 kids, because
Mm.
they're like, it's quite selective, just went to Taunton's College where it
Taunton's
was like
big, right?
more like 3,000 kids
Yeah, yeah,
and like loads of girls, and it was just absolutely insane. And
yeah.
mind you, at that point, I'd started taking gear, so you can imagine it was just
Oh,
next level shit. I
I
was not turning up to any of my classes. I was like, and I started getting into a load of drama with girls where like
yeah.
you'll get with a girl and then you'll try and bang her mate as well. And it's all that shit. So it was mess.
Yeah. Well,
And
so
back then you wouldn't know me back then.
yeah. Well, I met you when you were like 17, 18, maybe,
That's
right?
what I mean. So you would have known
Yeah,
me.
yeah. Um, yeah. So I went to Western Park Boys, right? And then about 2 miles away was Shoaling Girls. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. Like, yeah, okay, yeah. So what we used to do is we used to leave school early and go and hang out at their school gates, like smoking and shit,
Right.
right? Trying to look
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
embarrassing as fuck. But anyway, but then so when college happened, we all went to the same thing, and then there was like three other schools that all went there as well. I went to
Itching, yeah.
Itchen College, yeah. So I went there, mate. I couldn't believe it. Like sitting in a class, and I'm next to a girl and a girl, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how are you concentrating? How are you doing anything? Like,
Can't. No.
it's funny. They said to us, they said, right now you're in college. There's no obligation to be here. So if you don't want to be here, it's your choice. And I was like, all right,
Sweet. I'm off.
fuck off. So yeah, just as you say, just trying to get with girls and not really listening to anything. I actually was asked to leave. They said that I couldn't do the exams because I didn't like my attendance was too low.
Right.
They said there's no point in you doing the exam. So actually, I didn't even finish, guys.
Really?
Fucking
Yeah,
oh,
see, it's funny because like at that point I used to go train at that easy gym, which is like in Shirley. And
easy. Yeah,
that's only like a 7-minute walk from my college. So I used to
yeah,
just skip past the college and I'll just walk down
yeah.
to the gym, and I was taking training all sorts, and I'll just be
Oh,
training.
mate.
And then I'll come back. And this is the thing, like it gets quite awkward as well, because you walk into the class, but I would do the work at home, you see. I just didn't want to be at college because I did maths and I did physics and I did all these fucking subjects, right? So for me to like study that, I had to study at home. But I just used YouTube. I just like used YouTube and I just did like studied that. And then I'll turn up and I'll piss the teachers off because they'll expect them to catch you out, but I knew it all.
You're obviously pretty academic, like naturally. You don't have to like try too hard for it.
That's
Do
right.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Yeah.
So then I like ended up getting an A level of like A in maths.
Oh,
It's like,
fucking hell.
it's
Well,
which
check this out. Check this out, right? I fucking had a bit of a rude awakening in my first week of college. Yeah, so I got a D in maths in GCSE because
yeah.
I was a bit of a I was shit at school, like whatever. So I went to retake GCSE in college. But I went instead of going to GCSE math, I went to A level math
Oh,
because I didn't know where I was going. Right,
yeah.
it was my first week. Fucking sat in there.
You were like, fuck, I've
I,
never seen this shit.
I was like, I am so dumb. I am so even to this day, I'm not. Mathematics is definitely not a strong suit for me. So
Yeah.
I was sat there and I was like, everyone was like this, working, and I was just like,
Their
oh.
calculators, yeah.
The class finished and someone said, "What's up?" kind of thing, and yeah, I found out. But yeah, man, like and you got an A in that.
Mm. And mate, this is it's fucking difficult. Like, especially when you start going up higher up. It's like university level maths. I was actually this close to taking maths at uni. In the end, I obviously took economics, but like it's mind blowing when you start to learn these things. It's kind of like you just think, well, you know what? It makes you think like, what the fuck would they use that in real life? You wouldn't.
You know what? It's funny. You know, like there's some of the things you learn, like like odd maths or fucking algebra. And you use that, but then still, like for example, what are skills that we actually need to know? We need to know how to like manage money. I don't know if that can be a class, but like manage money or start a business or your accounts. Like these are things that are like more important than fucking odd maths. You know what I mean?
I mean, look, you still can, because if you're taking business, I assume
Oh
that's
yeah,
what they teach you.
yeah.
If you're taking subjects that then lead into you taking engineering or taking maths as a degree or taking chemistry or taking something that you kind of need those core principles, because they'll teach you, let's say for example, integrals, like they'll teach you like integration, and you say for example that's to do with in real life, what would you use that for? You would use it for like say the rate of a swimming pool filling up, right? You would use that for, because it kind of goes like exponential. So so that in that way, that would be useful. But then you use that in your physics, in your physics A level.
Okay.
So you kind of start to like put these things together because they all make sense in the end. But it has no use unless you're going to go and actually study something to do with that.
I actually took GCSE business, GCSE English in college, and I took business. I took business, and I took something else. I can't even fucking remember. And here's the mad thing: I can't tell. I was there for probably 3/4 of a year because I told you they asked me to leave. I honestly cannot tell you one thing that happened in business. I can't tell you one thing. I just not because they're bad teachers or not because because I just wasn't in headspace, or just whatever. So I learned nothing, zero.
Well, I think that's why it's important to pick a subject that you are actually interested in. Because we're sort of people that see bodybuilding, right? We're all or nothing. So if you've got no interest for it, I would rather not do it at all.
Right.
Same for yourself. Like you do that because you're so invested in it, because you love it. So if you pick a subject that you like, you would come naturally and you'd be good at it. Like for me, maths, right? But that's why when I went to uni and done economics, I had zero interest in it because I just couldn't relate to it. I just sort of took it just so I can take a degree.
It's a bit of both in it. So you take it because you're into it, but one of the reasons why you take it is because you're good at it as well. Like sometimes you've got like a natural propensity to be good at something, and you're likely to go towards that. And the ironic thing is, back then I feel like I was a different person. It's like my head wasn't screwed on at all. Because now I truly like to learn, and it has been that way for the last 10 plus years. I actually enjoy learning stuff. I enjoy quizzes. I enjoy like general knowledge shit. And back then it was like, nope. Don't know, man. Strange. It's almost like I wish I could have had this brain back then. I could have done more with it, but yeah.
Yeah, but then when you think about it, it's like, it kind of brings you up to this point, because it's like, what would you have done had you not?
That's an interesting one. I mean, the path would have been completely different. Better or worse, I don't know. But yeah, it would have been completely different. And do you know what? I was talking to someone about this like 2 weeks ago. I don't have regrets, but sometimes I do think, fuck, it would have been nice to switch on earlier. Like you never had that party in that fucking, like, and part of me thinks, fuck, it would have been nice to have switched on earlier. But then, I don't know, I did make a lot of memories. I did I did a lot of good shit.
I think you do it in your own way. Like everyone's got certain stuff that they kind of like occupy your time with. I almost kind of feel like with the whole bodybuilding thing, in a way, sometimes you're reflecting, you think, fuck me, I went backwards, because before bodybuilding, right, I was doing maths, chemistry. I would have probably gone and done like something to do in chemistry. I would have probably gone to uni, probably do like probably would have had like a PhD in fucking maths now. But then you think, okay, so I would have been educated. Would I have what would I have done?
Yeah, but would that have necessarily yielded a better outcome? Like
that exactly.
Yeah, I'm not really one of these people that's like, like they talk about fate and what will be, and if it's meant to be. I'm not really like that, but sometimes the negatives and the positives, they happen, and they, whatever, and it is what it is. And you could have potentially righted the wrongs back then, but would that have been better? I don't know.
I mean, I will tell you this though, I do regret not taking it to kind of like leaving all of that education stuff, which I was good at, and just kind of leaving it and not taking it further where I could have. And you know, I could have got a degree in maths. I could have got a degree in chemistry. You know, that would have been nice. But you know, I would have wasted 4 or 5 years extra.
Yeah, but but then it's impossible to say this, but then what would you be doing? Maybe you wouldn't even be doing anything with it. How many people get a degree or a master's and don't even do that thing anymore?
So my sister, and again, why did I even go to uni to begin with? Because my mum, she pushed me. She's like, "Oh, you need to go and get your degree. If you need a degree." I'm like, "What for?" But in the end, she kept fucking on, and so I just thought, okay, fine. So I went into uni. Right, my sister, mate, she got 3 degrees. She went and did a degree in English literature. She finished that. She's like, well, now what I can do is I can be a teacher. But she said, I don't really want to be a teacher. So she did a master's in English literature. And she's like, so I don't really want to do anything with that. So she did a 3rd one, and she's got a degree in law.
And is she working in law?
Oh, she works. Right. So my mum's a nurse. My mum's really high up in nursing. And she works in one of the places, one of the hospitals she works at, but she's a carer. She's a care assistant. My mum's like, you should have at least been a nurse. Because my mum makes a fucking bomb.
So Amy, she's got a master's in zoology.
Yeah.
She's also got a teaching degree, which took her 4 years to get as well. So she's very well educated, Amy. And she's teaching, but she's literally on her way out. Like she's now just wants to do like a bodybuilding coaching side of thing, you know, like she's a posing coach, right?
Yeah.
She earns really, really well from it, and she's trying to get out of teaching. She just doesn't enjoy it at all. So there's potentially like 5 to 7 years of her life that didn't really lead to anything. Your sister's even more, so I'm going to turn the light. Yeah, that's interesting. It's mad to think, isn't it? Really, it's mad to think.
And the thought of working for someone with my personality, it just doesn't go that well with me, because it's all good, not nice to kind of like have like a degree in chemistry or have a degree in maths, but that then leads into you working for someone else.
Yeah, I remember. It's funny to even say this out loud. I've barely told anyone this. Not that it's a secret, but I just haven't said it out loud. At one point, I really wanted to be a researcher. I was really into physics.
Yeah.
But I realized, and I actually went to like a careers thing, and I realized that you need mathematics to be in physics. Yeah. And I realized that it was so far out of my reach, because I know that I'm not genetically, but I'm just not, it just doesn't click for me.
Yeah, maths just, but then again, I think once you start to understand physics, so that's how it kind of worked in college. So they made you take maths if you're taking physics. So if you're taking physics, by default, physics or chemistry, maths goes along with it, because they teach you a lot of the core stuff in maths. Like I said, for example, the integration stuff. And they'll go, right, this is what that goes into applied physics. And then in physics, you then start to understand it.
Yeah. Do you know what it was for me? I was on YouTube a lot. Like, we're talking probably 12 years ago, around 2010 to 2013, when my life was all over the place.
Yeah.
I was really into cosmology.
Right.
So every night I'd go to bed, and this is in my messy years. So I was always sniffing drugs and doing all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
But I'd get in from a night out, so sniff, smoke, and I'd get in at like 5 a.m. and I would probably have a wank actually when I first got to try and like calm me down. After that, I would put on a cosmology documentary and just watch it and just drift off. And I probably did that for about 2 to 3 years, and I thought to myself, "Fuck me, I love like cosmology and the universe. I love this subject." So I thought to myself, "I need to do a job in that. I need to do a job in that."
Yeah.
And
so more like theoretical physics, like
absolutely.
photons, and you're talking about especially like basically like quantum mechanics.
Oh,
I hated that part of physics, because we kind of studied that, but it was almost like very difficult to quantify, because it's literally quantify, because it's just theory. So for me, like string theory and all that, I really struggled to get on board with a lot of that.
Well, it's funny because you say quantum mechanics, because the laws of the universe are separate to quantum mechanics, because like the rules, the laws within
Yeah.
quantum mechanics don't even apply to, like,
No,
shit happens in quantum mechanics that doesn't even make sense.
doesn't even make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so I very soon realized that I didn't have the brain capacity for it. Like, but that's no knock on me, because I don't think, probably like 0.1% of people have got it.
Oh, mate.
I challenge anyone watching this to like fucking Google, like Wikipedia, quantum mechanics, and you won't even understand it. It's fucking, it's mental. So that dream very quickly died when I realized that I was not smart enough.
Yeah, but I think you put that like barrier in yourself, because it's, if you've got an interest in it, you'd be a lot more, like, for example, for me, a lot of the like applied physics was what I was interested in. So mechanics, that's the stuff that sort of interested me, like tensile forces, things like that. That's the sort of stuff that I was more into. Like other people are more interested into like the motion physics, like where you got the Newton's laws and all that stuff. Everyone kind of picks a different, and then from there you choose where to kind of take it. Because there's lots of different branches of physics.
But it's incredibly complex, and the fact that I was so what's the word? I was just very casual about it. I was like, oh yeah, I'll just do that, and it's like, no. It was basically it was a gross misunderstanding from me of what it actually took to do that. And yes, I probably could have learned. Yeah, of course, if I'd really dedicated myself, but it's not. You need to be that way inclined initially. I don't think my upbringing lended itself to that. I wasn't like super academic, and it wasn't. None of my friends were like particularly academic. We were all just like fucking around, you know. So just, I don't think it was, you know.
It's kind of like the way it kind of works is like, you know, when you just tie different things together. So, for example, you go into a maths class and they say, right, today we're going to learn such and such, and you then go into physics and you're like, right, that piece here fits into this, and you kind of make sense between the two.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like with bodybuilding, where kind of like, to give it kind of an example within that, and you kind of like, you might do a movement and then you kind of work out that like how one joint might be used in the same sort of movement. You think that's actually the same movement, whereas some people just haven't got that, and they just go and blast 15 exercises, but it really is just the same exercise.
You're bang on, mate. I think that's really prevalent. I find that with a lot of clients, like biomechanics, like understanding what the muscle's function is, and I don't think a lot of people know. So what they're thinking about doing is they're thinking about move, like let's say a lat pull down. They're just thinking, right, at the moment that bar is there.
Yeah.
And I just need to bring it down.
Yeah.
They're thinking about what the machine's doing, not what their muscle's doing.
Yeah.
And this is what I try and tell my clients. Like, forget the apparatus, think about what your muscle does, and then load the muscle with the machine.
Yeah.
Right? That people do it the wrong way around. They think about, okay, with the dumbbell low, okay, it's there and it needs to be there, without thinking what's actually doing it. So I guess it's kind of
Well, this is the thing, like when people have the argument of like, you know, when they kind of like crunched in and do that, and you're like, so what's the function of the lat? Well, the function of the lat is to extend the arm, right? So you kind of think to yourself, well, maybe you should kind of take advantage of actually going all the way.
Yeah. Like
and I think we've had that argument before, kind of thing. Like, you know, it's that. It really is that.
I mean, like, go on.
Very basic, taking things very basically, but actually that's all you kind of need.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Once you, and this is for anyone watching, like once you understand what muscles do, right? So muscles need to lengthen and shorten. That's what they do. They only work in one plane of motion. So your bicep, it's there to there, right? I mean, yes, you can do it, you can move it this way. But what I mean is, for you to work it, you need to align the muscle, and you need to shorten it and lengthen it under load. Think of that with everything, with your lat as well. Lengthen, shorten. With your pec, lengthen, shorten. Rather than thinking about the movements in the gym. Once you understand this more, this all makes way more sense. It makes way more sense, you know? The weights are just there for you to load your muscle. Like, I don't think people view it that way. They view it as if, like, that I need to move that machine. I need to move that machine from A to B. And it's like, no, you're actually trying to, you know, trying to find this.
It's almost like you're using your body to actually use the machine rather than.
Yes. Yeah, you're not just walking over to the machine and, oh, well, at the moment the machine's high and it needs to be low. No,
Yeah.
no. Like, it's for you to fucking load the machine, load your muscle correctly, you know? But, hey,
But I think also you get to the point where you've got the people that understand it too much, and then they find a way to cheat the machine.
100%, mate, 100%. I think this is a real, I love this expression. I might have said it on it before, but I just really like it. Paralysis by analysis. Like, knowing, overthinking a subject can end up becoming a negative as well, you know? Like, basically,
Massively.
in 2023, how many, you know, the movement, this fucking movement at about 1 mile an hour, because you've got to target your lats, bro. And it's like, you, I get what you're doing. I get it. You're trying to feel that contraction, that pump. I get it. But you're overcomplicating a very, very simple concept. Your muscle needs to be lengthened and shortened under load. That's it. Stop fucking like, and it's the faces that go with it as well.
Oh yeah.
You're like,
I just think like training used to be a lot more fun when we didn't have any of that shit. Like we didn't even think about any of that shit back in the day. You just think pull down. Oh, there's a wide grip pull down because it's close by. I'll just use that. Fucking who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
now,
it doesn't matter.
like,
Yeah.
It didn't matter. Or sometimes it's like it's the bar is already on the thing, hooked on the thing. So you just think, I'll just use that.
That do. It's funny because like when I think back, you and me are different in that sense because you took it. You were better earlier, I believe. So I started training at 17.
Yeah.
I honestly believe up until I was probably 20 to 21, I was just fucking about. I just wanted to look good for girls. I didn't really have any proper knowledge. I was just like, you know, like feels good and I've got abs and I can bench press. And I think that's lost in this day and age. Like, how many people just train because it's quite fun and they just want to look
I don't
good?
know. You'd say that, but think how much dumb shit we used to do that you just think I would never do that now.
I agree. I agree.
No.
But there was something special about being almost ignorant. It was like, it was just fun. It was just fun. I just did it because it was fun. And that's it.
Yeah. It's a little bit like your mate tells you, oh, let's go and play ping pong. And you know, fuck all our ping pong. You actually really enjoy the game. Yeah. Whereas I bet you, if we did it for a couple of months, you're just going to start taking it so fucking seriously, you're going to actually start to overthink shit. And it takes the fun out of it.
Yes, 100%. I found that with football. So I always played football growing up. And I used to love it. On the playground, in Scotland, like all good. I fucking loved it. Like I lived and breathed football. It was my number one love.
Yeah.
And then I was playing and it got serious. And I remember there were kids that used to fucking cry. Fucking little dorks fucking in the team. Like when we lost, they'd be like,
yeah.
Like, I get it, you're passionate, I get it, cool. But like, I don't know, man. I just used to think, fucking hell, like this is not fun anymore. Like we used to just play football to have a bit of a laugh and like whatever. Like, I don't know. So the moment the fun felt like it wasn't there anymore, I just kind of drifted away from football. I just, it's not really for me anymore. It's funny because in bodybuilding, I am serious about it, but the fun is still there. I don't know why. The fun's never left for me.
I think you're one of the few people that can do that though. Because like you know when to switch it on, and you know that if you, let's say, lose a show, you take it harshly. But also you're one of but that's because you're competitive. But also you're one of these people that you don't overcomplicate and overthink shit. You kind of just do what you got to do, and you know what works, and that works. Whereas like I think for me, I'm kind of one of these people that I am quite over analytical over little things. And then when one thing goes wrong, it just crumbles. Things like crumble for me. Like I wish I could have a little bit more of that thing, like what you say, where how you used to be, where you just kind of just do it for fun. Go out on the piss.
Yeah.
And think, say for me, if I was to go out, I'll be like, right, I need to train the day before because I can't train the next day because I'll feel shit. I'll overthink that stuff. When really, just fucking get up and go train.
Do you know what? You're right. And I'm there now. When it comes to going out, bearing in mind I go out probably once a fucking year now. And when I do, the week leading up to it, I'm already anxious. I'm already like, I'm already not enjoying myself. A week before I've even gone out, I'm already not enjoying myself because I'm thinking about all the shit you just said.
Yeah.
Whereas when I was younger, there was no thought. There was no thought. It was like, I'll go out, sniff a bit of gear, try and pull some birds, go home, and then go to the gym next day, and so what? I'm not that guy anymore, obviously, because I'm older. But what I mean is, now I can't switch off like that. I can't do it. Can't do it.
I think it's because now it's more on the line, or there's more expected of you, or there's more.
Yeah, maybe.
It's just a different, like you're on a different level, so there's more pressure.
That actually takes me to another thing I said this week. I People keep saying, because I'm in like not bad shape at the moment.
I was going to say that. I was just going to bring that up in a minute.
Yeah, well, I'll go into now. So I went into a mini diet phase on August the 14th. And the
Yeah.
reason why I say that because it's been just over 7 weeks. Okay. And it started out as just because I enjoy it and I don't like being fat, whatever. But now I'm a bit here. I'm like, oh, okay. And I think and people keep saying, you're going to compete, you're going to compete, you're going to compete, you're going to compete. And I'm like, maybe. But then actually, when I take a step back, no. Right? Because what you just said is exactly true. There's more on the line for me now. I can't, if I go to a show that I'm expected to win the overall,
Yeah.
and don't even win my category because I come a bit off or something, like it would hurt me way more now because it feels like it's too much on the line now.
It's more how much is it going to set you back before you can get back into the swing of it.
Definitely, in my mind, no, like at like a regional amateur show, I should be winning my category and I should potentially, I should be going for the overall, all the time. So going into a show where I'm not 100% sure, and no way. It's too risky for me now because I think I'm a little bit fragile in my mind, being honest. And if I were to take a loss now at like a smaller show, no, it would be catastrophic for my headspace.
And I think also it's back in the day that wouldn't have been such a big deal. You'll just kind of go,
Yeah,
oh, whatever,
yeah,
and you kind of envy those people that can be like that, where they'll just do a
yes,
show and they'll just go whatever and just get back to normal.
yeah. And they come like third, and they're like, okay, next one. Right, if I come third, I'm like, fuck, like
But
I'm done.
I need
Yeah,
to
like
quit.
yeah, yeah, you're right. So up until probably 2018, so
Yeah.
2015 is when I started, 16, 17, 18. For my first 4 years of competing, I was just happy to be there. And I won some shows, cool. But I was just happy to be there. It's all good. And then all of a sudden, I started getting better and better and better, right? And then now, like, yeah, it's not the same anymore. I just, yeah.
Again, it takes the fun of it because you're almost like focused on the end result, which is I need to win. When the reality is you actually do that because of the actual process that you go through.
Right, man.
It's yeah.
It's interesting because you're right. I do it because I love it, but I also do it because I'm competitive, right? So if I felt like I was not competitive, I doubt I'd bother. I'd probably just be like, nah. I feel like part of the enjoyment is being competitive, and yeah. So it's part of me.
It's not even to do with clients because you're doing quite well with clients now as well. I can see like you're picking up quite a lot of clients. You're like a lot more than you've had before. So obviously competing. I know you're not one of those people that like loses your shit when you start to go into prep. You can still be dieting, be prepping, and be at client shows. And
I think I'm more efficient now. I react better to low food for sure. So, yeah. Do you know what? In the last few days, I've not quite as low as you, but I've done 75 grams of carbs for 3 days in a row. Bearing in mind, for me, I never normally go below 300.
yeah.
So 3 days in a row, like depletion, it gets easy, does it not? Like you end up I found it easy. I found
the
it
first
easy.
day you're like, wow, what the fuck? But I tell you what, I think that's how you stall your metabolism if you do it for too long. And you get comfortable in it because it's easy, because it's like the fats are just keeping you stable and you're
Facts.
not hungry, but your metabolism stalls.
Oh,
I still hate the refeeds because I'm fucking starving on those refeed days.
I'm
But
on a
that's
refeed. I'm on a refeed day today, bro. I'm on a refeed day today, and
yeah,
honestly,
yeah, yeah. No, I
I've been
saw
clock
that.
watching
Yeah,
today. I've been clock watching because I'm
yeah,
waiting for my next meal. What the fuck?
yeah.
Stupid,
So
man.
actually, it's kind of like a double-edged sword as well, a little bit, because it's like the first day kind of sucks, and then you get used to it, and you actually have more energy, and you just think, "What the fuck?" But yeah,
I would honestly say, hand on heart, I found the depletion days easier than what I was doing before. Before I was on 330 grams of carbs. It wasn't hard. I'm not saying it was hard, but the depletion days were even easier.
Easier. Well, remember
And
we had this chat, and you were like, maybe you should add some carbs in, and I was like, man, I don't even want it because I know this is easy. I know if I said to you, I'll be eating more, but it will be harder.
so my in my meal two is chicken, rice, veg. I just thought to myself, hold on a minute, like I don't whether this rice is there or not, it doesn't make a difference. So then all of a sudden the rice went, and I thought, okay, cool. And then right, let me restructure my diet. And then I put in salmon and eggs instead
Yeah.
of in one of the other meals. It's so right, fats take over. You end up getting you end those fats are your lifeline. When you have a fatty meal like salmon and eggs, you're fucking flying, mate. You feel fine. You feel great.
Because you've not got these dips in blood sugar, but then
Exactly.
I think that starts to affect your training negatively because you start to lose strength when you start like after not after like a couple of days, but once you've done it for a week, your training starts to go to shit. That's for sure.
Yeah, I can't. I've never done it for a huge amount of time, not since like 2015. But yeah, I mean, I'm not quite as strong. But to be fair, I'm also not using the same antibiotics as I normally do. So normally I'm on Tren, and I'm not now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And normally I use Anavar, and I'm not now. So Tren and Anavar at the latter stages of a prep are fucking gold for strength, right?
Oh yeah.
And I'm not on them, and I feel like the strength is probably 5% down. Like it's I lose a
Also,
rep or two.
I think for your body type, I can't see the no carb being a smart way of doing things because your metabolism is just fucking fire. So you just like I can do that. Remember, like I used to send you pictures, and I'm like, I'm still not even flat. Like, you know what? Everyone
Yeah.
is the thing now, you know, it's like, oh, I'm flat. 2 days up, 2 days no carbs, I'm flat. It's like, no, but like for me, I used to like look still fairly full, get decent pumps after like a week of no carbs. But I don't think you're that type. I think your body will just eat through muscle.
My metabolism's too efficient. Like
Yeah.
this is very much only temporary. I'm only going to be doing this for like another like. So my diet finishes around in about 10 days.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
just for the final stretch. I'm just gonna, you know. Um. So yeah, but I feel fucking great, man. Like my energy's amazing. Like people go
So
on about
you did
dieting. Being,
4 days of no carb.
no, three. I did three no carb. Today's a high day. Then I'm doing tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday.
But today is
Like
what, 600 carb?
today's 600,
Yeah.
which is nothing, right?
Starving on that. But I bet you're gonna wake up lighter tomorrow.
I guarantee I will. Yeah.
Because normally what happens is like your digestion tends to slow down when you're eating fats, and because it's just less food volume. So you'll probably end up like
Yeah.
lighter tomorrow, I reckon.
I think so, mate. I think so. I'm going to do three more depletion, then a high day Wednesday, and then two more depletion. Then it's the British final PTA, and it's Amy's birthday as well. So
Yeah.
I'm going to have like a meal with her and whatever. So
Do you think it might be a good shout, like for you, like that kind of sounds like it would make sense? You know how your metabolism is so fast, but let's say you diet yourself, you proper deplete yourself all the way down, almost like stall your metabolism to where like your metabolism's like on, I don't know, basal is like 2,000 calories. So then at that point, you can start bringing yourself back up. But I think metabolism is so adaptive that it's not really going to make a difference, is it?
I can't say this for sure, but my opinion is of what I know of my physique, my body. Sorry, I'll just keep dropping. I
Really?
honestly feel like I will just keep dropping. My body doesn't
Yeah.
really stall. I never stall. I never
Yeah.
stall. Never. And I can train legs. I can be inflamed. And it still goes. I don't know. It's just genetics, really, man. But yeah,
Yeah.
so that's where I'm at the moment, mate. And yeah, Amy's birthday is the 17th of October. So what is that? Is that yeah? That's literally 10 days.
10 days, yeah.
So yeah, that's it.
And then what after? What would are you just gonna go back into a
Yeah, I'll go into a surplus, but not huge. I'm not going to climb up to like 300. I'm not doing that. November, December, well, half of October, November, December, January, and then midway through February, I start prepping into like 4 months, like off season. But I'm not going to go crazy because I don't like being fat. It makes me miserable. And when I say fat, I say fat.
fat relatively for you? So
Yeah,
like,
relative for me. Yeah, it just makes me a bit miserable, and I don't really have the bug for doing stuff. I'm just like,
yeah,
So
yeah,
4 months and then prep, and I'm probably going to do PCA Universe Pro Show.
that'd
Probably.
be good.
Yeah, probably, mate.
Where is what just in England? You're not going to go abroad or.
I don't know, mate. I'll get myself ready for April, May, and just pick a couple. You know.
Yeah. Thing is, it doesn't take you long. Are you going to prep yourself?
Probably not. I still haven't figured out who I'm going to use yet. To be honest, I haven't even thought about it. I haven't even thought about it. So.
Maybe
But,
try and prep yourself.
yeah, I mean, I used to do it, didn't I? But I know that I make stupid mistakes. Like even today, right? Even fucking today, I'm so stupid. I almost pulled out of my own refeed there.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I fucking go stupid. Like I was 3 meals deep, and I was like, do I need the other three? Yeah, and I was debating I was driving, and I was thinking, nah, maybe I'll just leave it and go back to low again.
Yeah, but don't you kind of think to yourself, right, let me do that and then see how I look tomorrow. And then based off how that works, so you go, let me try and repeat that, but then change something else. And then let's say you do 3 low days again, and then you do another high day with something else in, and you just kind of like.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to see what happens tomorrow, how I look, and blah blah blah.
I see your nips are looking good as well.
Say again.
The gyno in the.
Oh yeah. They're right, man. They're right. They're like indented a little bit, but it's changing. It's getting better and better.
Yeah, that will tighten up. Yeah.
When I put a front double, like it indents a tiny bit, but it's okay. It's fine.
Mine's still like that. I think because they take the gland all out, it's normal. There was a guy in my gym that I was chatting to the other day. He went to get his gyno taken out. He fucking came back because they didn't take it all out. So now
Sam Goodrich. That happened to Sam Goodrich. Do you know him?
No.
Sorry, yeah, go on. Anyway, you can. Sorry.
So if I've probably seen a picture, I don't know, but anyway, he got that, and now they're gonna fly him back, and he's gonna have it redone. But I said to him, it's not even about like you get it done for free. It's more, I just wouldn't want the recovery and all that stuff. You know what it's like. It's not nice.
I feel like if there was a tiny bit left, I'd probably just be like, no, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's only small. It's like.
No, because it's not how it works, right? The gland, obviously, it's when you first start, you've got a tiny little gland. The estrogen will just hypertrophy that, so it just grows and grows and grows. So then, if you leave a little bit out, it will just regrow back to a normal fucking.
Yeah, but could you not control it with AIs?
Yeah, but would you want to if they're offering you to get it done for free?
But as you say, the recovery and all that bullshit. I don't know.
Yeah, well, there is that, but
you make sense.
You know, and yeah, it's just the recovery of it, and then on the other side, if you go and have how we've had it done, to where almost like where your nipple goes like inwards, it's like yeah.
Do you know what? I had my bloods done 2 weeks ago, and I don't run any AI now. Bearing in mind, right, I was on tamoxifen, Arimidex, and Kaba. I was on all three just to control it. And when I was on those three, came down. Anyway, I'm on nothing now, and I'm on a gram of test. And my estrogen was bang on, and my test was sky high. It was fucking fantastic. It was beautiful.
That's probably because you're lean, so your body's not converting to estrogen. That's probably why.
Whatever the fuck it was.
What was your test at?
178
on a gram. That's not good.
Why?
178. That's shit.
The highest it's ever been for me. I've never had it higher.
That's terrible. Like when no. On a grammar test, you're like 100. You're probably talking like maybe, let's say if you're taking TRT 200 mgs a test, 250, you're probably talking 50, 60, 80. That's not good.
So I was on 200 test, and I was at like 30 or 40. On a person, it's a PB for me.
Yeah.
It's the highest mine's ever been. So I wasn't mad.
Yeah, no, because when I was on a gram, my test was like registered over 500.
Oh,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
but that's bad. That's bad as well.
That's bad as well.
That's bad as well, mate. I feel like I'm at a good spot. I'm super high, like relative.
That's what I'm saying. I think you should be expecting more than 160 if you're taking a gram.
178, but yeah, maybe. But as I say, relative to me, it's the highest it's ever been. In my last 6 blood tests, I've never had tests this high, so I'm cool, like whatever. So yeah. Well, anyway, mate. By the way, I did a Q&A, didn't I?
Oh yeah.
and I got some actually, some all right ones. So we'll work our way through them, yeah?
Let's do them.
Right. I will start. There's one from you, the first one. Dave, has your broken arm injury from the squat caused any inconvenience over the years since?
No. A bone is such an easy. The bone is completely different to like cartilage or muscle or anything like that. Bone just heals, and in fact, it heals up stronger.
Your mental, it scarred you here more than it has there, right? Like getting under a big squat again, it's like.
I know, mate, because I've still squatted big weights after that. I mean, remember, like my biggest squats
yeah.
after that injury. So squats, funny enough, hasn't bothered me. What bothers me is chest training. I cannot put myself on chest for the life of me. That pec tear, that done me in.
Yeah, it does. I've never really been the same since I did. Like, never like. No, that's a lie. I tore my pec in 2018, end of, like only a minor tear, and then 2019 I benched 230. So like, I came back like 6 months later. But now, no.
It's more just like at the back of your mind. It's always there. It's always like, could it happen? Whereas prior to it happening, you bounce the bar off your chest. You just don't care. It's just not even a thought.
Recently, I don't know if you've seen. I've been like maybe like 2 months ago. I did 140 for like 18 or 19 reps. Like I'm
that's
back
normal for you.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is I'm back to that type of level.
That's like body weight for you, so that's that's not like abnormal, you know.
Yeah, but my best ever was 23, and that was when I was at my peak strength. And now I'm at like 19. And I don't even train it. I have to do it every week then. So yeah. Right. Anyway, next one. Oh, stupid one, right? Would you rather ride a bicycle for 10 kilometers with a dildo as a seat, or sew your asshole shut for a week?
Ride the bike.
I would ride the bike as well.
You got to remember, once it's in, it's in. You don't have to move.
10 kilometers. Imagine going over like bumpy terrain. You're just getting bummed the whole time.
I could not. If I didn't shit for 10 days, is it?
10 days. Yeah, a week.
A week. No.
Well, you'd die, wouldn't you? You'd die.
I don't know, because there's people that get constipated for longer than that, but I wouldn't want it. It's more of an inconvenience to me.
Yeah, dildo all fucking day long.
Yeah, people fucking do it for fun.
Maybe you've just admitted something there. Well, to be fair, I've had shit in my. I've had Amy put stuff up my ass.
Finger.
You know, and other stuff. I thought, hold on, has Amy done that?
What other stuff?
I think Amy might have put something in my bum before.
I can't. I just don't.
I don't know if she's put a dead. She might. Yeah, when we first got together, because we were doing loads of dirty shit.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not into that. See, I can't even have a finger. It just doesn't feel good for me. I just don't. I
quite like it.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I feel like I'm missing out because of what I've wanted to enjoy it, but it just doesn't feel good for me.
Well, do you know what, mate? You've got to make sure you're clean, right? And what I mean by that is, like, let's say you're not sure if you need a shit. Because let's say you haven't been all day and then she fingers your ass. All you're thinking about is, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, you got to make
sure. That never happens, though, because you finger out your bird's ass, and that's never, like...
Yeah, no, but it's more the mental side of it, right? So here's why that's important, because when you relax, because you're not thinking about anything else, you're just in the moment, your arsehole will relax and it will just feel, like, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe that's why. Maybe because I'm tense. I'm always like,
bro. To make sure you evacuate, and then get her to fucking shove it in. Get on to her tonight.
It's never been my thing. Like ever since I can't now because my hair's still healing, so I can't sweat or anything like that.
No, you can't exert yourself, sort of thing.
You can't even. You shouldn't even cough or sneeze like really kind of hard.
Yeah. Anyway, next one. Top 5 clients of each of yours to look out for over the next year or two. Do you have any? I'll go first. So I'm going to miss people out, and if I don't say their name, it's going to come across bad. But people that come to mind are, well, just the guy left me. He was really good. Reese. He just won a show, and then he left straight after. It's like he just wanted to do his own thing. But he was really, really good. Who else is good? Dan Lim, who I've got competing tomorrow.
I was just thinking about him.
Yeah, he's good.
He's
Good.
gonna be. He is gonna be very good as well in future.
When he first joined me, his legs were a bit weaker, but they're not anymore. They're not. Like his legs are
Oh,
pretty fucking good. They're not as detailed as his upper, but size has really come on.
he's really
Dan
proportionate as
Lim is
well.
second,
He's really proportionate as well.
and he's like aesthetic. His midsection's
That's what I
awesome.
mean.
Yeah,
That's what I mean. He's got a really good midsection. He's got like
yeah,
a pleasing physique to look at.
yeah. And his debut show, granted, it was a first timer show, but his debut, he fucking won the overall. So yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
Um, I've got I've got this big guy called Josh Davis. He's fucking ginormous, like a really, really big guy, like fucking huge. If he keeps going, he's got great potential. But he's not really a bodybuilder. But like, if I can just keep him for like a year, like
Yeah.
he's going to be very good.
I find with the guys that are just a lump, they never do that well because they're a lump for a reason because they just eat and they don't like to not eat. So like I have this guy as well, Dan. He was a powerlifter guy, so he's gone back to doing powerlifting now. You might remember he had like tattoos, like he looked a bit like Rich Piana.
I don't remember him. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, he's big, big.
Right?
Yeah.
But he would be like that. So I'll say to him, look, let's pull you back a little bit. And then he'll be like, oh mate, I had to have like I had like a kebab last night or like whatever, because I just got really hungry and stuff like that. And it's kind of stuff like, because he's just used to being a powerlifter, he used to be 140, 150 kilo. He's accumulated so much muscle, but try and diet those guys, they just break.
I really agree. I really agree. That Josh guy, to be fair, we had that conversation at the beginning. Seemed like he's coming out because he's starting to see changes in his physique and he's loving it. But you're right. You're right. There's another guy called Josh Dobble. He is really good, but again, he just doesn't like dieting. He's always like, I need to do this. I need enough plan. He goes, I can't sleep. I need something. I'm like, okay. But I'll finish this off. Josh Cullen, the guy I got in tomorrow.
Yeah, mate, what the fuck? What I did, I just the guy with the ponytail.
Yeah,
What
bro, he's
like,
good.
I looked at this guy and I said, who the fuck is this guy? Like, he's fucking huge.
Check this. He's 19
I know.
and he's natty. He's totally natural. Right. He's got amazing potential. Like he could, if he carries on as he's going, by the time he's 22, you know what I mean? Paul Atherton, I'd compete. He's very good, very big, got great potential as well.
Yeah,
Peter Kane. Peter Kane. We spoke. I think you might have spoke to him.
I'll speak to, oh God. I think you're going he watched the podcast as well.
Yeah,
he loves getting into like chats about like drugs. He loves drugs.
Yeah, he does.
Like, Ryan won't let me use this. And I'm like, you will, just ask him. But I said, but bro, I don't think you need it. Like I love talking to him because I love talking about drugs and he loves talking about drugs. So like we always chat. But like I can't see how and he's like, yeah, I don't even look that good. I'm like, mate, you've got a fucking amazing physique. What are you talking about? He's like, yeah, I'm just a beginner. I just, I'm like, no, have you seen yourself? But I have a feeling you're going to struggle to put him on stage.
So I met up with him about 3 weeks ago. In person, he's thick. Fuck, he's thick. He's really, really good. But I agree. I've already had this conversation probably 5 times with him.
Yeah.
Dieting him down, he's going to have to go fucking rock bottom food because he grows. You give him about 10 grams of carbs and he's like 10 kilo up. It's fucking mental.
Yeah.
But potential wise, he is one of the best ones. Like his back, mate. Oh my god, it's crazy.
I know.
Crazy.
I know, it's stupid.
Yeah, he's definitely one. Rob Smith's really good.
Good.
Yeah, they got a very aesthetic physique. Ryan Mackin.
I'm jealous of.
Yeah.
The midsection I'm jealous of.
Yeah, it's super aesthetic.
I think if I had to pick between yours and his, I think you still have a better set of abs, but his just look like fucking thick and just stacked.
I don't know if mine are, but his maybe might be a bit more symmetrical. I don't know, but yeah.
Yours just now. I think when you're lean, yours come out like 8.
Yeah, I've got 8.
Like,
yeah.
Yours are like flat, but like his are like deep, but yours are just like flat, but like really almost look. They just look like the skin just looks like paper thin. Yeah.
And just to finish it off, one more as well. Shout out to Ryan Mackin. The guy with my fucking name. He just won his debut show as well.
Yeah,
He's a men's physique guy. He's good. He's good.
he
Very
is.
very
Yeah,
appeasing physique. To be honest, as soon as he joined me, I was like, like I could see it straight away. He wasn't holding too much body fat. You could tell he had quite like hard skin already, even without trying. Then
yeah,
as soon as he went onto a proper diet, he was just
just
um
transformed. Yeah.
yeah. There's other guys that are like got potential, but I think they struggle to like be adherent. You know,
I think
oh,
potential is like one of these things where you kind of like the potential in maybe having the shape or the potential in being big, but I think ultimately when it comes to competitive bodybuilding, what determines potential is can you fucking diet.
bang on, mate, bang on. I've got two more shout outs. Paul Wilson, who you know,
Yeah,
he's got a great
he's
physique. I will say
competing.
he just doesn't have it. He doesn't want to compete, but it's a shame because he'd be
Oh,
good.
mate, he's
Uh,
always looked fucking mental.
he,
You've had him for a while.
yeah, he's been with me a couple of years now, or
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. But yeah, he's really good. Another guy as well, you won't know, but he's called. He goes to my gym called Paul Shaw. He's like mid 40s, but mate, he's just dieting. Before I knew it, I sort of looked at him. I saw him down the gym, and he was just fucking carved out of stone. I was like, shit. So I'm looking to get him on stage early next year. So he's good as well. Um, yeah, that's it. How about you? Do you have people that like you can shout out?
I tell you what, I have dropped all of my competitors now.
Really?
I had one that was he was competing in he was actually we prepped, and then I just said to him like I just don't have I haven't got the time, or obviously I was going to Turkey, so I'm like, look, you're going to do finals. I'm not going to be at finals. I'm not going to be able to come to your show in what's it called, PCA. He did the PCA Yorkshire. I just obviously I've kind of just kept all my lifestyle clients. You know what it's like. Competitors are a lot of work. They're a pain in the ass. They
Depends.
overanalyze. They need a lot more attention. They need a lot more. So for me, it's just kind of like I'm now at the point where I would just keep my lifestyle clients, and I would only ever take lifestyle clients. Just because I just it's more of I don't have the I'm kind of on a different kind of wavelength of
Yep.
doing different things that
Yep.
and I tell you what, like I will always still coach to a certain extent just because you might as well, but I don't even need to if I don't want to. So
That's not a bad spot to be in. Like doing it because you actually just want to help certain people that you get on with and stuff. That's
yeah.
not
And for
bad
me
at
to
all.
actually work with someone, I would really actually want to work with someone. I wouldn't
Right.
just
Right.
take on someone, but like before, I would take anyone on
Mm-hmm.
because it's part of your job. Whereas now I'm just kind of like, no, unless I really want to actually work with that person, I just won't bother.
Yeah, makes sense.
Um,
Um, how are you finding the higher test this time round to previous cycles? I don't even know that. I don't feel different. I will say this. I'm not as good as I was earlier on the year because I was on trend. And honestly, like you could say I'm not as lean yet. So maybe in about 10 days when I'm leaner, I'm probably going to be mimic it. But I was definitely in better shape earlier on this year. And I think I was fuller from the Trembolone, for sure. So yeah, but I don't feel negatives at all
well, you
from the
got to
test.
remember, like testosterone is it's going to hold slightly more fluid. You're going to retain slightly more fluid. Sub Q. So it's not necessarily intramuscular fluid. It's going to be sub Q. So that's potentially going to be a factor that would make you appear not look as good.
I will say this. I start to look really good when I get really lean. That sounds really arrogant, but what I mean is,
No, it's true. It is true.
but before I'm at that really lean stage, I'm like, and then I just go
Up to 260, you're kind of like, oh, okay,
yes,
you
yes.
know,
This morning I was 259,
yeah,
so I've started to get to that point now. Another like 5 pounds off, and I'm gonna look good.
yeah.
So yeah, no, I feel good. Feel good.
But then what would it take to get to those £5? Like another month?
Oh, I could drop 5 pounds in about 2 days.
No, but we're not talking five. We're talking £5 of body fat, not £5 of
Yeah,
weight.
3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah. Plus, you got to bear in mind you're 259, but you're not 259. You probably are 263, 264. because you're depleted and flat, for empty.
It's a very good point, actually. Yeah, I do. I agree. I agree.
So
Yeah.
if you were to go back to your baseline, you'd probably be 264, 263, I reckon.
It's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh.
I think, yeah, I'll be able to tell. I'll be able to give a proper assessment of that cycle earlier on in the year compared to this one. I'll be able to give a proper assessment in about 10 days.
Yeah.
When I'm leaner, because then I can compare the videos, I can look, and So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I personally think that you always want not just one compound, a lot of just one compound, but a couple of that, just mid dose of them, not stupid high dose of one, because you still got to remember, like, let's say your DHT pathway isn't really being addressed, which is a potential for growth there.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we kind of like go like your usual test, Masteron or Primo, let's say, and you might go NPP or Trend.
Yeah. So I was on Androlone until 2 weeks ago as well, but I just ran out of it. I just thought, no, fuck it, like, because bearing in mind I'm not going for a show, so I just thought, whatever, see how this looks.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I don't really notice that much on it. People always talk about X, Y, Z. I think the only thing I really notice is trend. I feel like there was a definite fullness that I had that I don't quite have this time. But
yeah,
go on.
Yeah, I mean, trend has that. It just carries that like cosmetic look that you're not going to get from anything else.
And it's not dramatic. It's not like I'm super different. I just think there's just a little polish, a little bit of polish. But as I say, when I'm leaner, I'll be able to give a proper assessment. At the moment,
I think for people that have seen your physique year on year and yourself, like I can tell, I see your physique now, like when you hit that most muscular today in the gym, right? It's just a different, hasn't got that shrink wrap type look. And it's not to do with the body weight. It's just it's just the trenbolone just brings out about a different look.
I agree.
So the people that maybe have seen your physique maybe like just now, or maybe they've seen it a couple of times, or they don't really pay much attention. But for someone like yourself, or like people like me, because obviously I've seen it for so long now, I know exactly. I can almost like, it's funny, but I can almost like look at you. You send me a picture and I'd be like, you weigh this much, and I'll probably be about 5 pounds away from within 5 pounds.
Yeah.
So
because I guess you've seen me for so many years, so kind of
that's it. Yeah, but it's these little things that you can kind of tell.
Yeah. Right. Next question. Can you talk about how and if your mental health has ever been affected through bodybuilding, and what did you do to overcome it?
Oh, massively, right? We both went through that when we did our shows.
Yeah. I don't know if mine was like, I don't know if I'd call it that. I would just call it like I didn't get the result I wanted. I was pissed off.
It was a disappointment.
Yeah, it was disappointment. I don't touch wood. I don't want to downplay it. And I don't want to seem like I'm just like brushing over it. But I'm not someone who suffers with mental health issues at all. I'm not.
Nah.
So I can't really relate to it. And even if I did, I feel like I feel like I'd pass it off. I think people. Go on, sorry.
People that call like depression and things like that, I can't relate to those people. People that are suicidal, like I get it, it's a real thing, but it just doesn't register in my head. I just don't think like that.
Me too.
I could be annoyed and I transfer that more into anger and more upset, but meaning I'm just pissed off in my own head. And then that reflects onto other people because I'm just being a dick to other people, right, or more. Right. Yeah,
I think depression is a word that's used too much, because again, it's a touchy subject, and you've got to be mindful of what you say, because it's definitely a real thing, right? Some people fucking take their own life. It's fucking awful. But I think a lot of times being a bit down and being annoyed and being frustrated and feeling like there's nowhere to turn is not necessarily depression. You could just be going through a little phase. Like, everyone's felt that. I try not to give it too much credence. Like, if I feel a bit down for a couple of days, I'm like, I know that I'm going to come out of it.
Yeah.
So instead of dwelling in the moment, I just crack on, But I get some people can't do that.
I think people do that though because they're almost like have not a lot going on in their lives, and do you find as well people that are depressed or claim depression? They're people that are normally like they're either on the dole or they're like just fucking losers in life.
Well, yes and no, because you still hear about people who are like doing really well, and then all of a sudden you hear that they killed
Oh,
themselves. Or like Neil Curry, he's good looking, he's fucking popular. He was in Olympia. He's fucking obviously got money as well. Luke Sando, I don't know. What I'm saying is it happens. It's not always
yeah, yeah,
down and
yeah.
out.
But I think for the most part, people that do that claim like depression and that, you look at them and you're like, well, you look like a sack of shit, right? So you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, yeah, I look like a sack of shit. And also they've not got anything going on in their lives. So it's easy to kind of get down on yourself because you haven't got a lot going on.
I feel like, yeah. So if you're not like fulfilling your life, doing things that you enjoy doing with people that you enjoy being around,
Yeah.
it can pretty feel that way, right? And I think it starts with what you're putting in your body. As you just said, if you're not active, physically active, and you're eating shit food, it's likely, and you're working a job that you don't like. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I should imagine that's pretty disheartening. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
It's going to
But
make it, and it's not just about the look, like how you look. Like some people don't really kind of
yeah,
register that, but I think for the likes of us, I know myself now. Right now, looking at myself, I don't like how I look, but it's kind of like these things that you're like. It's just part and parcel of where I'm at. So I can change that, and this is the thing for me because like I'm like getting fat or getting out of shape does not bother me whatsoever because I know I'm 4 weeks away from being in shape like that. So
yeah, but the thing is, this is where certain mindsets are different. Some people would be defeated by that, whereas you're in control of it.
yeah,
You can turn it around
change it.
whenever you want, whenever you want. Some people don't have that ability. Some people don't have
Yeah.
the I don't know. Yeah, they get defeated quite easily. You know.
But I think mental, like when it comes to like mental health, it's like, I would say after the show, it was more my training was slightly down just because I was kind of burnt out. I just wasn't enjoying the training, and off the back of that. But apart from that, anything else, like I was happy in life. My relationship's perfectly fine. I'm happy in my life. I'm doing well in everything else outside of the bodybuilding that I wasn't doing well in. So no, I wouldn't say.
Your life is pretty fulfilled just because you're not in your premium shape right now, but you're still fulfilling yourself. Your brain is still, satisfied with what you're doing.
But I tell you what, though, even then, I was actually less happy with my look when I was like kind of going on stage than I am now.
Maybe because you're more like you're hyper aware of it because you're looking at yourself all the time. And
100%.
uh,
But I tell you what, in Turkey, it's mad. Like, and you'll know that the amount of people that asked
yes,
to take pictures of me with me and Josh was just insane.
yeah,
The people in the hotel that were working in there, oh, can I take pictures to show my son this and that? People out on the street, they'll come up with a camera, and I'm like, because a lot of them can't speak English. They're like, oh, picture, and I'm like, oh, you want me to take a picture of them? They're like, no, no, no. They wanted to like
yeah,
take
100%. Did they call you Rambo?
Hulk and all sorts.
Yeah.
And I think it's
Yeah,
the tattoos as well, because there aren't that many people that have tattoos. When we went to the clinic, the guy was like, oh, you two look huge. I'm like, bro, I look like fucking shit. What's he talking about? But it's
no, it's funny. I remember being on holiday years ago, and I actually ended up not wanting to go down the strip. Like to get to the restaurants, we had to walk past all these like shops and bars. I couldn't be asked because I was like, hey, 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 whoa, whoa. And you're like,
yeah.
oh, like, it's fucking annoying. Obviously flattering, isn't it? But it's also annoying. So, oh.
Now, kind of onto that, like I would even hearing that before when I was in shape. If I had to go to Asda, for example, I'll put a t-shirt on. I
Right.
wouldn't go into the shop with a vest on.
No.
In Turkey, I wore a vest. I
Yeah.
didn't give a
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, I look shit. Who gives a fuck? I know I look shit anyway, so I'm not bothered. Whereas if I know that I'm meant to look good and I'm not,
Right.
but I
Yeah.
don't, I'm like, fuck.
That's so true. Yeah. If you're like at max capacity training, at some point, you're expecting yourself to look really good.
Yeah.
So then if you catch yourself in a mirror with a vest on and you look a bit smaller, oh fuck no. No way. Yeah, that's true.
Like when you had your brain surgery, you're probably like, don't give a fuck that much.
Yeah, you let go of it over time. Like when you're not training at your capacity, your brain just goes and you
Yeah.
start letting go of the fact that you need to look fucking amazing, you know?
A lot of people just, it's almost like what you kind of said earlier, paralysis by analysis for a lot of people. They kind of have like a certain expectation of how they should look, and when they don't look like that every minute of the day, they get depressed.
Yes. I just think depression shouldn't be thrown around willy-nilly, that word. I feel like, because there are some people, as I say, who take their own life. It's serious business. It's serious business. And that word is literally used like that.
Yeah.
And I just think, don't call it that. It's disrespectful to the people that have lost people. If you're down, you're not depressed. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm the authority and I'm telling you if you are down or not. Like, what I'm saying is, don't throw that word around willy-nilly. Like, because it's a serious fucking word, man. You know?
Oh, the door. Just the door, one sec.
Gotta feed the cat as well. For people watching, sorry about this.
In Amazon parcels, you know, there's absolutely fucking cunts anyway, because they'll just knock the door.
Yeah.
And by the time you get to the door, they fucked off back in the van. It's like,
it's like knock door run.
huh?
It's like knock door run.
Yeah, I don't even know what the fuck this is, but it looks like fucking shoes or some shit. But yeah,
Anyway, on to the next one. On to the next one. I want to get through all of them before we finish up. So
yeah.
Thoughts on Stephen Physique going from open to classic when he's not classic? Who cares?
Who gives a fuck?
Like, do people actually like worry about that sort of shit?
Yeah, I know.
I never think about Stephen Physique in my life ever. Why would I?
I tell you what, right? Regardless of whether he is an open or a classic, well, he's not lean anyway. So who gives a fuck? Why? I think but he's not, because he did a show not long ago, and he always looks kind of soft, kind of like 6 weeks out. Who gives a fuck? And why do people give him so much like shit for it?
He's not someone that you should even be in the conversation, because he doesn't get full condition. You shouldn't even be talking about him, you know? I don't know. Should Nick Elliott have got his pro card instead of Conor Renchen? I felt this was the biggest robbery this year. You know Nick Elliott?
Yeah.
Nick Elliott is fucking good. Very good. Those legs. Good everywhere, to be honest with you. His legs are
I can't even remember the lineup, right? But that Conor, he's quite small. He did your show. He's like 180 pounds or something. He's just got nice shape. And
Conor's good. I don't know if he's going to make a mark in the Pro League. Bear in mind, if I got it, nor would I. But what? Nick Elliott definitely seems more pro worthy for sure. Like, I feel like he was overlooked this year, to be honest with you. But that being said, he could have been a little bit tighter, especially through the legs. Like, he's got amazing shape and amazing proportions, but he's like lacking that final, like, you know what I mean? So maybe Conor must have taken it on condition.
He does get lean, that's for sure. And he's obviously done a couple of shows, so they obviously probably they figured it out by that point.
If I wanted to look like one of them, it would definitely be Nick. Like, Nick's got a phenomenal physique. Conor's really good too, but like Nick is like, he just needs to be a little bit tighter, I think. So, general thoughts on FitX Pro and a lot of the controversy surrounding the organization.
I don't know. I didn't even get into all that drama. Like, I see some of the drama, but I think also equally, like, when I saw that, it was kind of very just one-sided. So, you know, people will say stuff and it's kind of like, well, okay, that's one side. What about the other side? So, you know, it's very easy to kind of like take one side and go run with it, but there's always two sides. So
fully agree, mate. And I don't know enough about it. I mean, what I do know is that there's controversy around the judging. But what I will say is this: people have only ever got a problem with the judging when it affects them.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you ask me, do I like FedEx judging? Yeah. Won an overall.
Overall, yeah.
If you were to ask Craig, because Craig won his category, but then lost in the overall to guys who were smaller than him. Yeah. So if you ask Craig, he's like, shit. So remember, the opinion that you hear about a federation is always based on that person's placing, right?
Oh, yeah.
So take it with a pinch of salt.
And who cares, you know, really?
It's so fucking true. Who gives a shit?
They're not going to change just because we fucking moan
about it. I know, I really like FitX. Look, forgetting my overall, like, I just like it. I think it's good for British bodybuilding. I think they're like You know, when you think about the best federations, it goes Two Bros, PCA, FedEx. Right?
Yeah.
So I think it's a good thing for bodybuilding in UK. So yeah, no issues from me.
Out of all the feds, I think PCA does the best job at delivering the experience of to the audience.
Couldn't agree more. They put on the best shows.
Yeah.
They had the pro cards as well. They'd absolutely kill it. Imagine if they got the pro card, it'd be unbelievable. It'd be so good. Because they definitely run the best show. Definitely.
Yeah.
My advice to anyone new to competing, PCA is the most fun.
I would say so, yeah.
Should there be a regulatory body for coaching? Do you see it as a loophole to get around PT qualifications or a completely different thing?
I think it should be a different thing because PT thing has nothing to do with coaching. The PT thing doesn't even teach you anything. It's just more, it's a waste of time, really.
Yeah, I mean, getting around the PT qualifications makes it sound like it's like really hard to get and you learn loads and it's like super elusive. It's not. I actually have a PT qualification and it was shit. I didn't learn anything. I didn't learn anything. So
no. And you know, but back then, like now it's all done online because I've got a couple of clients that are going through the PT thing. Even Pure Gym offers it. And mate, it's all just formality. It's literally just all online. You don't have to even turn up or do anything in person. Back when we did it, I had to go to Bournemouth for 6 weeks every fucking day to do it, right? And even then it's fucking useless. But I remember that the people that were doing it, you'll probably see the same thing. They were like kids, just like idiots. They'll just turn up and, you know, at the start, they're like, so introduce yourself and tell us why you want to get qualified. I'm like, yeah, well, you know, I finished school and I went to do a couple of years in like Spain, worked on ships or wherever the fuck, like work on bars, like Ibiza and that. And now I just kind of like come back and I'm not really got anything to do. So I just thought, PT. It's like, you know.
I agree. And it's funny because people will turn their noses up at coaches who don't have a qualification but are extremely knowledgeable. But then because there's a PT with a qualification, oh, well, at least he's qualified. You've done no fuck all. The amount of people I've coached over the years who are PTs who know nothing or they know very little.
Yeah.
So just because you've got a qualification,
you see that in commercial gyms, especially. How many PTs actually look good?
It's rare. So don't be fooled by a qualification thinking that then gives them authority. Like a logical fallacy. Some of the most knowledgeable people you'll ever fucking meet in this industry don't have a PT qualification or anything like that. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah. I don't think there should be a regulatory body because I think the natural order of things sorts itself out. If you're good, you'll do well. If you're not, you won't. You'll stop.
I don't know though, bro, because you get all these idiots that just poach clients and just go in and they will just by being annoying, they'll gain a bunch of clients. And we know people that have got such a massive client base, and you're like, well, I ain't got a fucking clue.
Yeah, but the kind of clients that they get, I'm not like, maybe it's because it doesn't bother me. Because like what I mean is their demographic is not my demographic, so I'm like, whatever. But I always
know, like, but I feel bad for the people that are being ripped off.
Yeah, like undercut or whatever. Yeah, I agree. As I say, I think the cream will rise and shit will fall. And I just think it will sort itself out over time. When you start coaching, you don't earn enough money, you're soon going to stop.
Yeah.
So I
also think a lot of the coaches that are the top coaches, a load of them, right? I don't think a lot, like, I'm not speaking about like the majority, but I would say some of like the coaches that have a decent amount of clients, they just end up gaining a lot of because of their traction and popularity in social media. Yes. They end up gaining the good clients, and fucking my nan could fucking pick up one of those guys and fucking turn him into a good bodybuilder. Like, you know.
Yeah. If you've got amazing genetics, the job's already done for you, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
I think. Do you know? I feel like you should just have respect for yourself. If you're going to take money off people, you should have a level of knowledge, because you should have fucking respect for the people giving you money. If you are, I don't know, like,
but that's,
how do I word this?
But they do though. They think they are knowledgeable.
Okay.
Because they get results and they go, well, results speak for themselves. No, bro, you've got this like black kid who's got these fucking bulging muscles everywhere, and he is he is destined to be a good bodybuilder, and he just comes to you and you just feed him chicken and rice 5 times a day, and that's all they need to do. There's no
Yeah.
fucking magic in that.
No.
Probably Coleman, you know, turn naturally. He probably didn't even. He was kind of like fucking eating pizzas and shit, and it was still. Some people are just meant for it.
Yeah.
But because of their popularity, they then take that as knowledge.
Yeah, I'll agree. I would say that is rarer than it is common, though. But you're right. You're right. Some people just think about getting in shape and they get in shape, you know. So, yeah, you know, I think it's down to the individual, right? If you go to a coach who's shit, doesn't know what he's talking about, that's kind of on you. You know what I mean?
I think it's more as well, like just doing dangerous shit.
Yes, that's a good one. You shouldn't be running protocols that you know nothing about. You need to really think about that. I've got two more. I don't even know what this one means. If you are happy with your physique and natural, is it PEDs to maintain it year round?
I think you need a certain amount of TRT, because, you know, once you're on TRT and you've been on TRT like us for like 10 years, you probably need to be on TRT. But I think you can probably maintain your physique on TRT. You know, back a while back, we used to have this debate, and I used to be like, no, as soon as you come off, you lose all your muscle. No, you don't, because it's like you've built it over time, and it's not just going to go away. And I used to think the opposite. But now that obviously I haven't been on anything since April, and for the most part, until I stopped training last month, and I still got size. I've still got size. It's just meh, shit.
Yeah, it's a bit softer, yeah.
Yeah, it just looks shit. Just look at myself. Like,
yeah, I think PEDs obviously help, but no, the key is how you train and what you're eating, right? Like it
right.
will always come down to sleep, like rest, sleep, food, and training. If you're not using gear, you're likely to have low testosterone levels if you're dieting year round. So it's going to be harder, but it's still possible. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I mean, I think also with us, like where we've obviously taken it for so long, we've got to a certain point. So then trying to lose that muscle, like I said, like for me, like I'm like 240. You know, I'm still not light. I'm still like, I weighed myself at the clinic, and I was like 108. So that's still 240 pounds. And like, mind you, I'm eating twice a day, like I said, no training, like just doing absolutely fuck all, and my weight's still staying. So
that's 10 years worth of effort. So it's not just gonna yeah. Social media icks.
People buying their followers. I think that is the stupidest thing people can do, because you open someone's account and they've got like 200,000 followers, and you look on their like content and it's like 100 views and they've got like likes. And I think I would kind of explain quickly why. Because if you think about the way the algorithm works is, let's say you make a post, you make a video, and your Instagram or whichever social media will see that you've got 100,000 followers. It will then send that piece of content to a whole bunch of your followers. So it will send it to, let's say, 100 people. Well, if 80% of those people are bot followers, they're not going to respond to your content. And the way you go to that next step, whether your video does well or not, is whether people respond to that initial
interaction.
How long they watch it for, do they comment, do they like, do they share the content? So let's say they send my video or your video to 100 people, and let's say 20 of them like it, you get a bunch of comments, the algorithm's like, oh, right, okay, that video's doing well, push it to the next stage, on to more people.
Right.
If you've got bot followers, well, it can never get past that point.
So you're always going to be underperforming relative to your followers. So the algorithm's always going to say this person's content is not worth pushing.
Because it's got no interaction. But it can't, because how are bots meant to interact?
So it's going to gradually get worse and worse because your interaction is not good. So you're never going to get pushed up. Yeah.
We actually shoot yourself in the foot. If you've got fake account followers, the obviously social media sees it as followers. So they will try and send it to people to test whether the content's actually good for them to push you on to that next stage. That's how it works.
I've got a few icks. I remember doing the 101 and I put a couple in. The one that always gets me is well, actually, no, this one. You know when people say, I can't wait to make this look shit?
Oh, we're talking bodybuilding.
I guess social media, but mine's so populated with bodybuilding, that's what I see.
Right, okay, yeah.
So what I see is, yeah, I can't wait to make this look shit. I can't wait to make this look small. That bugs me, and I don't know why. Or if they say this, they put a photo up, but they clearly look quite good, and they'll go, "This is me at my worst. This is me flat. Just wait till the carbs go in."
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like, what, you're going to put carbs in and turn into fucking Phil Heath? Like, come on, relax. Like, you're not going to grow muscle. Like, people assume carbohydrates do more than they do, I think.
Yeah.
Like, if you haven't got that much muscle, you ain't going to have much muscle when you put the carbs in. That fucking winds me up.
Yeah, it's when always people like downplay how good they look just to make themselves feel better, when really you're like, mate, you're at your best here. So
It's like you've never seen that person look better, and they say, "This is me at my flattest," and you're like, "This is the best you've ever looked."
Yeah,
like, come on, like, fucking up.
That's why I hate this word as well. Flat. This is word just gives me like just like angers me. You know
Yeah.
When someone says when someone says a word, and it just like that word just instantly just like gives you like anger inside you.
I roll my eyes immediately. I'm like, oh, fucking hell.
Like raises my blood pressure by like 10 points.
Yeah, I'm flat. Everyone's flat. Everyone's flat. And in reality, you just aren't as big as you thought. You're not as big as you thought. That's it. Oh, working in silence. That will forever piss me off. Fuck off. You're posting on social media. Therefore, you're not in silence. If you're in silence, you're delete your account.
Doing that though, I haven't seen as much of that.
You know what? You're right. I don't see it all the time, but over the years, I've definitely seen it a lot.
Yeah.
And they do this emoji.
Oh,
yeah. They go, just over here working in science, staying in my own lane. And you're like, if you were working in science, you would fucking delete your Instagram and just, yeah, fucking, I don't know, man. I think, do you know what it is? Dorian Yates, the shadow, right? Dorian Yates used to literally go away and he'd come back and he'd storm it.
Yeah.
Right? People like to think that they're like, the 2023 version of Dorian. It's like, no.
One thing that does me in with bodybuilding social media is these people spunking out loads of fucking money on videographers and cameras and about like all the fancy kit. One, you've not got the physique to back it up, and two, you get no interaction from it. So what is that? Why? What's the point?
There's a guy, and I don't want to say his name because I don't want to have to come and edit the video, but he's an ex-client of mine, and he's got his physique is like, if we were to say like elite level amateur is 10 out of 10, amateur, and then we say like the terrible physique is 1. Okay, he's probably like a 5 or a 6. Okay, he's not bad, but he's not
average.
He's okay compared to a normal person. Yeah, he's good, but compared to a bodybuilder, no, not good.
Right.
Never competed, never had any good clients, never nothing. And he put so much effort into his content. He started this podcast. He's got like this fucking. He's just launched this new program, and it's really well put together. And it's like he does days in the life, and I'm like, you haven't got anything to back that up with. Like,
hold on, does he get traction? Does he get
I've looked. No,
right.
No, I've looked. His average client, again, he was my client before, so I know his average client is like 40-year-old woman trying to tone up.
Yeah.
And his content, you would assume he was like some super high level coach. And I get it. It's like fake it till you make it, right? Like he's trying to like put out. But I don't know, mate. I don't know. I feel like to be like that, you need to back it up. Like back it up with something. He's not particularly strong. He's not particularly lean. He's not particularly good. He hasn't had good clients. He's not particularly smart. He's just average on everything.
Yeah, well, you also find in bodybuilding the guys that are good, they don't really put that much effort into social media. Like, look at your pictures. Your picture fucking dog shit. Like like your camera, like it's like you don't even massively put much. You don't put effort into it. You put a tripod on there.
Yeah,
You record and then you post it. You record a video and you just post it.
Yeah.
You're not like having
No, yeah.
a mic on here. You're like your quality of pictures and that isn't like edited or anything like. You don't edit your pictures. You just screenshot it and you post it.
Yeah, it's always screenshot of a video.
Yeah. So on a if we were to deconstruct quality of content, you would say, well, that content's quite shit because he is not really compared to people that would be putting effort into having the mic in the gym. And so, guys, this is how we train the lateral delt, taking it into, mate, this is sort of shit you'll never do, right?
Yeah, I agree. But I just don't see it as genuine. I don't see it as having like, I don't know. If someone, okay, the kind of YouTube channels that I watch, like for example, if Bumstead puts a video up, I'm interested to see what he eats and I'm interested to see him train because he's so fucking good.
Yeah.
And his content is good because he's got everything's professional. So that's cool. But a really, really, really average bodybuilder with the same level of production, I'm like, why? Like, who's looking at that thinking, oh, like who?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, with Chris, we watch his training and eating and that because he's Chris Bumstead.
Exactly.
The Rock does it. We watch it because it's The Rock.
Exactly.
You know, if it's Nick Walker, like Nick Walker, the size of him, and we all press the same 60 kilo dumbbells in the gym, but we watch it because of the way it looks when he does it.
Yeah, you want to know if he's doing it slightly different. Is there something? What makes him so good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can see like what do you notice with pros training when they go? They're like, they do an intro, right? We're gonna train chest, and I'm gonna do 17 exercises. Let's go. And you just bang, bang, bang through the sets, right? They don't explain shit. They just do it. And they get views because they're the pros.
Because they're who they are.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's my problem. Like ultimately, right? It's not like I stay up at night thinking about this shit. Just my opinion is it's needless. If he wants to do it, crack on. But I just think you need back it up with something.
For sure. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. So, also, I don't think you've even seen this, but I always see it like girls post. They say leg day, and when they say leg day, they put the devil horn.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what. Or they go, "Oh, I trained the glutes today, devil," and I'm like, I don't know. Mate, it winds me up. I don't know why it bugs me so much, but it just does. Just fuck off. Like you're fat anyway, and like you know what I mean. Like you got a fat ass and fat legs, and then you're like doing these bullshit squats, like booty squats, and then like devil horn. Like I don't know.
That's just attention. That's just for attention. That's what it is.
But yeah, that's it for me. But I've got one more now, so we're finished off with this one. I think we've been almost 2 hours now.
Huh.
Where is it? Hold on. There you go. Olympia predictions for the men's open.
Right, just before we do that though,
yep,
I want to know about the arm wrestling thing because you've been doing that quite a lot.
Oh yeah.
But we've never actually spoke about it. But actually, I've watched like a bunch of stuff on TikTok and it's interesting. So I want to know.
Right, so I started in June, but I've been into arm wrestling. I know you don't like it, but I've been into arm wrestling for probably 10 years.
No, I don't dislike it. I've just never come across it or known about it. But actually, looking on TikTok, it's fucking popular.
Bro, I fucking love it. Like it's probably the thing I watch the most on YouTube. I literally love it.
So why aren't you talking about it more? Because I watch you do some of it, but then I kind of like, why don't you like explain stuff about it?
So I probably will. I will. And I think when bodybuilding's done, I'm likely to push into that. I really love it. I had another match today. Unfortunately, I lost, but he was really good. But anyway, so I started in June, but I've been wanting to do it for years. And then I'm at a club called Bionic Strength. And I started off and I was really inexperienced, didn't know what I was doing. 3 months later, I'm now top of the rankings in that gym. I've got a few things that obviously work in my favor. Obviously, 15 years of training plus. And also I've got a long arm.
Yeah.
So what I have learned and I kind of do it anyway, but you learn it as you do it. The taller you can make yourself, the better you are.
Of
Okay.
course, yeah.
So if you and I went against each other and I did this and you came up to here, I've got a massive advantage over you.
Advantage, yeah.
Because now I'm on the top of you and I can go against your fingers rather than your arm, right? So anyway, I've learned go high, and there's loads of different techniques, right? Back pressure, so you're using your lats, so you pull that arm away from them. Back pressure, top roll, hook, cup. You've got all these different things. And the mad thing is, it's not even necessarily how strong you are overall, although it helps. It's how strong you are in your wrist and your hand.
Okay.
Right? Your ability to do this, it's massive. Because if you control someone's hand, you kind of got it now. So the guy today had a stronger wrist than me.
Yeah.
So
Which
as soon as he's got,
think about, because you're someone that's held 230 kilos in your hands.
well, he said to me today, he goes, your hand is stronger than me, your bicep is stronger than me, your back is stronger than me, but you can't control my wrist. And it's so true. We were there, and he's just tagged me in it. So you're gonna have to look on Instagram in a bit. So once he's got me like this, he's controlling my arm because I cut because now I'm like this.
Yeah.
Right? And I lose my power. It's fucking weird. And then you've got to try and regain your power with your pronator, which is this.
Right.
But as a bodybuilder, you never train your pronator. When do you ever do this?
You don't.
Exactly. So arm wrestlers train this. So you'll go against someone who's a lot smaller than you, with less muscle than you, but they can beat you because they do this.
Oh, it's not even about the muscle. That's technique, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay, if you have two guys who are incredibly technical, one's big, one's small, the big guy will win, right?
Yeah,
so like for like, but yeah, a smaller guy can beat a big guy very easily through technique, for sure.
Are you ever scared of, when you see when people, like the injury I've got, that's such a common injury. Well, I suppose it's common with the people that are uneducated. I'm sure once you know what you're doing, it's very unlikely to happen.
So, yeah, basically that, right? So imagine how you did your arm.
Yeah.
So if we were arm wrestling here, if you were to push my arm there, I can feel my shoulder start to fucking feel tension. The way that it works is you pin like this. Someone would pin me, they'd pin me like this. Right? So all it is my arm going down as opposed to going back.
Right, okay.
Okay? So the way that the pads work, the way that they're positioned, you pin someone like that. So the likelihood of you breaking your arm is incredibly low, regardless of what people think. If someone is out to hurt you, yeah, it's really bad. But if you've got two people who are experienced, it's
right, okay.
The worst injuries, more common injuries would be like a bicep tear or something, around your pronator, around here.
Yeah.
But
no, and I've obviously, like I said, having seen that quite a bit recently, people talking about it, especially on TikTok, and they're saying exactly that. But I feel like that would be something on the back of my head because I've previously done that.
Because of your past, yeah. For me, I'll be honest with you, I don't think about when you're doing it, both people have got like respectful technique, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's yeah. And also for someone to break your arm, it has to be a complete mismatch. No, that's not true actually. Because if you're pushing again, for someone to break your arm, I feel like they'd almost have to be trying to break your arm.
Have to be trying.
Yeah, because if you, as I say, as you try and pin someone, you're almost trying to pull them this way, so their arm just extends.
Yeah. I mean, again, you never see that with professionals. You only see that with people that are like fucking at home and
down the pub.
Idiots.
Professionals, it's really uncommon. But the thing that they have, they have elbow issues like tendonitis and things like that happens, sure. But breaking your arm is very rare with really good people.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the first thing people say, every time they see my videos or they see me, they go, "Oh, your arm missing. You're not scared about breaking your arm?" It's like, nah.
Yeah.
If you do it right, it's okay. But mate, I fucking love it. I really love it, and I'm probably going to compete in it as well.
I think you should, and I think you should speak about it more because you've got that look to where a lot of them they don't look like a bodybuilder.
No.
So I think you can probably do quite well in something like that because.
Right, this is what they would say to me. So the first session I ever went, they actually posted me on their Instagram. They were like, we have this fucking monster guy come our gym, and it's because they're not used to seeing guys with my physique.
No.
So it was like, yeah, it's really cool.
Especially because bodybuilders are like awkward and unsociable, most of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So to do something like that, it's unlikely.
Yeah, but no, I fucking love it. There's a competition potentially in December that I'm probably going to enter.
Yeah.
I need to make sure that it's not too high level because obviously I'm fucking new, yeah. So I need to make sure it's a real novice level competition, and I'm going to give it a
Yeah,
go.
but surely they've got levels,
Yeah,
just like you do in bodybuilding.
absolutely. If I were to go against a load of super heavies that are experienced, I'm getting my ass handed to me. But if I go against a load of guys my level, yeah, fuck it.
And there seems to be quite a lot of money in that because a lot of the big events are actually holding, and like it's quite mainstream.
So the one of the competitions, 2nd of December. I don't know if I'm definitely doing it, but there's a £2,000 prize money for a little
Right.
local competition. So, but you know how it is. It's, you do it for the love, not for the money. If the money comes,
No,
great.
but
But
it's just interesting to me that something that a lot of people don't think about is actually quite mainstream and quite popular.
it's definitely gained popularity since Larry Will started doing it.
Yeah.
But I've been watching it. It started off as just like a curiosity. Oh, okay. Oh, and it was probably about 10 years ago, and then it just grew. And now I'm up to date with all of the top guys and everything. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. But it is interesting as well because a lot of us we don't really know a lot about it, and to kind of run through a lot of the stuff, how it works, and it
It's
will be interesting.
incredibly technical. Even today, I learned a lot. Like from losing to that guy, I learned more. Like every time I go, I learn a bit more, a bit more, a
Oh
bit more.
yeah.
And the interesting thing is as well, like when if you ever do it with your friends, you'll ache like fuck the next day.
Yeah.
Like if you do it properly, it hurts so bad in here, all around here. And I did it the first time I did it for about 10 days, I was in agony.
Remember, you
Anytime
had
I
to
did
keep on your
say again.
you had to like keep like a bag of peas
Yeah,
on your
yeah, I put sellotape around a bag of peas.
yeah.
Yeah, it was awful. But then now, fine. Because like you just it's like DOMS.
Yeah.
But over time, yeah. So now I might ache a tiny bit tomorrow, a tiny bit, but then I'm fine.
So how do you warm up for something like that?
You literally grip up with someone and you warm up your wrists together. So they're doing it as well, like you're there.
Uh,
And then you start warming up backwards and forwards, and then you do that, and they do that, you do that, they do that. So you just keep doing the movement. And you grab a band and you wrap a band onto something and you twist it up like this.
yeah.
But I don't know, honestly, it doesn't need that much warming up. But when we all warm up at the club, 5 minutes max, fine.
Yeah. But you still need some, right?
Something, yeah. If you go because it's max effort as well, isn't it? It's ready go, and as soon as they say it,
Yeah.
it's 100%. Boom, you know. So it's obviously a little bit risky, but touch wood, it's all been good so far. It's very, very. I literally like it makes me excited to think about. I love it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
interesting because our last podcast we were talking about like other things, right?
Yeah.
And this is the other thing for me.
Yeah.
So
And that's good because it's like I feel like it can get a bit stagnant with bodybuilding sometimes, and I feel like sometimes maybe taking a break, not stopping, but almost like kind of like say for example, I've stopped watching the bodybuilding podcast like Bro Chat, and I just kind of like for now. So then when I do go back into it, then I can be like excited about it again.
that's true. I feel like though, but one of the things that makes me enjoy things is because I'm so up to date with all the people. So, for example, let's say you were to not watch Bro Chat for 5 months, 6 months, and then you watch it again. All of the things that they're talking about aren't necessarily fresh. They might be talking about a new guy. You know, who the fuck's that? They might be talking about
Yeah,
a
but
new thing.
yeah, but there aren't. If you don't follow bodybuilding for 4 months, you're still not gonna miss. Plus, I still know, like for example, like I know last weekend there was a show Nathan won it. The week before there was Regan won it. So because you still open Instagram and you still see that shit. So you still, but you're not super like analytical about it, where they analyze it.
No, I agree with that, but I think it's like like a soap. Like Coronation Street EastEnders. You keep up with it, and you're more
Yeah.
into it. You're more into it because you're up to date with it.
Yeah.
When you're not up to date with it, it's a bit like. You know
I
what
mean, don't get me wrong. I still follow it. I still know who won what show, who's in what show, because you kind of always will.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. I think so.
But it's
Well,
more like trying to kind of like disconnect from it a little bit.
yeah, I think I just as we spoke about in the last podcast, it's nice to have other dimensions to your personality. You know, are you like I'm Ryan Mackins and I bodybuild. I'm not the bodybuilder. Like, you know, and you're, you know, same as you've got many assets in your life. You know, this, you know. So yeah. Hey, come on, boy. The animals. So anyway, we'll finish it up then with that prediction of Olympia. I'll go first.
You go first.
I'll go first. Hardy.
Okay.
Derek.
Okay.
Samson. Nick. Brandon. Andrew Jacked.
Top 6.
Top 6.
Okay. I think Derek, Samson, Hardy, Nick, Andrew. I don't think Brandon's going to be in there anymore.
Hunter?
No.
Crezo?
I think Nathan can beat Hunter, if I'm honest.
Yeah, me too, actually. What about Crezo?
Because he's a good one. I don't know if he's quite there yet. Who else is in there? That's what I kind of feel like Brandon's kind of going to be out of that now. I think he's starting to not be, obviously he's past his prime, and I think after this year he's gonna. I mean, you can sort of see that trend with. I mean, Rami's not doing it, and I can't see him coming back. Bonak's obviously retired.
So we got the other ones. We got Tonio Burton, Beirut Tabani, Brett Wilkin, Ross Flanagan, Phil Clahart, Andrea Presti, Justin Shire, Roman Fritz, Regan Grimes. I feel like we've said the top ones already, haven't we?
Yeah, it's got to be Brandon then. Yeah, because it's not. I can't see.
Can Nathan beat Brandon?
Nathan?
Can Diasha beat Brandon?
Oh, I don't know, because it's hard with Nathan, isn't it? To kind of tell, because I don't think he's going to be out the O anyway.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope he is.
I think Brandon's ran his course now. I think he is pushing it. I think he's going to be out of the top 6 now, and I think that will be him.
So who will be 6th then? Nath?
I would say so, yeah. I think out of him, he's in that region of Nathan. I would even say Justin. He's looking really good at the minute.
That shape, man. Fuck.
I know. He's maybe not quite yet because he's still fairly new.
I think his back's too shallow. But from the front, you know, that front double bicep, that's like
mental. But you know, kind of like that kind of top between like top 7 to 10, you've got like Brett, you've got like Nathan,
Rizzo.
That Baruz looks really good as well.
Baruz, yeah. They're all like this, the 7 to 12 guys, you know, like.
But yeah, I think I can see Derek taking it this year. Hardy wasn't at his best.
I think people forget about Hardy's condition, man. Like he's harder than everyone else, and his legs are just phenomenal. He's so densely muscled. Derek beats him from the back.
I know, but by that token, Nick Walker should be winning it.
But he's uglier.
But Hardy's not prettier either, is he? He's got his shoulders all syntholed, and
he's prettier than Nick.
Sure, but not by much.
He's also got bigger legs.
They're the same height, not by much.
His legs are bigger, and he's not denser than
Nick's.
Again,
you saying Hardy's legs are bigger than Nick's?
Oh, for sure.
Not from behind, they're not.
From behind, maybe not.
Not glutes, hamstrings, calves.
Okay, all included. Yeah, maybe. Nick Walker's got massive legs if you include everything.
Yeah.
From the front.
From the front, okay. Because Nick's adductors are fucking insane.
Yeah, they are.
It's just that quad insertion. That's what it is. But if you're taking it like that, you've got kind of the 3 guys that are very similar, being Hardy, Nick, and Derek.
Yes.
And you've Samson and Andrew that are very similar.
I really want to see Andrew and Samson up there. Like, what I want to happen is Samson to win, but I just don't think he gets tight enough.
Yeah.
But I want, if it was up to me, I would say Samson, Andrew, 1 and 2.
Yeah, yeah, and I knew that would be what you would say. I'd say for my sixth, I'd say Crizzo. That he will be my sixth.
I think Cruzo is definitely there or thereabouts as well, for sure. I just think Hardy is overlooked, and do you know why? Because I think it's recency bias. Who is more active on social media? Samson and Nick and Derek. Who's less active? Hardy. So people forget about him.
I mean, they don't because everyone still has him in that top placing.
Yes.
But
what I'm saying is they have other people beating him, and I'm just like, I don't know.
Look, I don't disagree because he's proved himself. But I think last year he wasn't at his best, and I think he beat everyone just because Derek was new and they couldn't give it to him because he was that new. Nick didn't quite have it to take him, and obviously Rami fell apart completely. So I just think they just kind of thought, okay, he's been knocking on the door, give it to him, but he wasn't at his best. He had that controversy with his shoulders and that, and I kind of just think he's almost like he's really complete. He's almost too complete.
Yeah.
He hasn't got like Nick Walker arms or
right. Yeah, when you're more proportionate, nothing like jumps out.
yeah.
Like Nick Walker's arms jump out, or Big Rami's legs. Well, I think Derek lets himself down with his chest. So like like in his like his like lat spread and stuff like that. It's not like
as soon as he hits that front double, it's just lats, and it's like his chest is like just shallows up and flattens out. But I think
do you know what? Sorry, mate. Sorry. If you could go by Derek's shape when he's about 6 weeks out, because he's obviously a bit fuller, when he has to deplete down for condition, I feel like he loses some of his pop.
I just think that shape is just so hard to beat with that small waist, and I think they'll give it to him. And also, Hardy is not really a good representative for the sport because Derek's just going to do so much more. That's, I think, why they'll keep Nick in those top placings as well. I wouldn't be surprised if Nick places second, purely because they are just the face of bodybuilding. They're the two most popular bodybuilders.
Yeah, Nick's got a huge following, hasn't he? I don't know. I wouldn't be mad if any of them won it. Like, they're all phenomenal, But I think just personal preference, yeah. I'd love it if Andrew Jack won. He's just not thick enough. But Andrew Jack, look at that fucking physique, man. Like, what?
Oh yeah,
beautiful.
I think Andrew will always be like in like that top 3, 5, 4, 5.
Yeah, I don't think he can crack top 3. I think 3 to 6. He's somewhere in there. I think.
I think they'll keep. I actually think they'll probably keep Nick in that top 3 as well.
You had him in 4th, like me.
I had him in 4th, but I think somehow, I think actually, they'll push Samson into 4th. And I'll tell you why. The Arnold's always the show of the pretty physique. So if you look at Kai Green versus Cedric, if you look at like they always have like Brandon versus Bonac. They always pick the pretty physique.
Whereas Olympia is more like gritty.
The Olympia is condition and size.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good. Isn't the Arnold judged as well through posing?
It is, but I don't think they take that into account. As it doesn't actually come into account in the final decision.
Well,
I think Arnold has a say of some sort.
Samson poses incredibly well. He's got really good flow and all that, right? But Nick poses well. Nick's amazing at the mandatories, but he doesn't have that Samson flow. You know what I mean?
Oh. But I still think Nick would come on top because Nick was very close. To me, Nick should have won the Arnold. To me. Like, maybe it's just a bias, personal preference. But if that was the Olympia, those two physiques, Nick would have won, I think.
Yeah, I can see that.
That leg shot that he posted the other day, I was like, fuck me.
It doesn't look real, mate. It's mad. Mad.
But how is that going to translate on stage? It's like, and also his skin's, I think he might be a bit too dark.
He works against him. He's got thick skin as well. Hardy's the best example. He looks granite hard. And then next to Samson, it exposes Samson, you know?
But so is Derek, though. Derek's quite, his skin always looks immature.
Yeah. That's the thing. Hardy looks more mature than Derek. Like, his physique looks like it's enter, you know?
I've just got a feeling
other than the back. Other than the back.
Oh, yeah. I've just got a feeling that Derek's going to take it this year for some reason. I don't know.
I did a poll on Instagram the other day, and Derek was the runaway winner.
Was he?
Most people, yeah. He won by a landslide, yeah. So, but anyway, mate, right, we'll call time on that because I need a piss as well.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that, mate.
All right, we'll catch you
next time. See you, bud.